An entertaining, hard-fought game once again in Guadalajara. Colombia beating DR Congo by 1-0. The fullback Daniel Munoz continuing his brilliant start to the World Cup with another goal, proved to be the winner, and Colombia now top the group and only need a draw against Portugal to come out as winners from Group K. You can see confirmation of them topping the group on 6 points here right now with a +3 goal difference. So Portugal do have a better goal difference, but they are a couple of points behind with a win and a draw. DR Congo still on that point that they got from the Portugal game on 1 point. Uzbekistan, they are down there in fourth on 0 points. Guys, what do we make of the game, Whitty? In the end, just that moment of quality that we said at halftime Colombia needed, and it came from the fullback.
Sometimes it's quality and sometimes it's luck as well. You get that little bit of luck. Daniel Munoz arriving, gets a strike towards goal, a little bit of a deflection on it. I think ultimately it was the just reward for Colombia's performance in the game. I thought they were the much more enterprising team. I thought at some point that was going to come for them, whether it was in the first half or the second half from James, from Quintero, who came on in the second half, I thought made a decent impact as well in the game. Lucho Diaz could have had a couple. I thought there was one where he was offside, where it was derelict for him to have been offside given the position they was in running forward. But yeah, I think in the overall, this was a deserved result, Ian. I thought Colombia were the better side on the day. And DR Congo, even having gone a goal behind, I don't think ever really fully responded and really made Colombia sweat too much for it.
Yeah, it's only the second time ever that Colombia have won their first 2 group games in a World Cup, which is important to recognise. They did it in 2014, obviously. They got off to a terrific start there, and they relied heavily on their superstars in doing so. They didn't have to be at their very best, even in the second game, to be able to make it a second victory. But to Chris's point there, it was always going to come down to an individual. I don't think collectively as a team it was a terrific team performance, but there's no doubt if you look at the 20 shots, 9 on target, they created enough chances to score more goals than 1 in this game. There were individual performances that were good. There was no one that was exceptional, although Munoz, I thought, was the one that stood out in the first 45 minutes, probably should have had a goal. He was a fraction offside, and then to eventually get his goal by courtesy of a slight deflection is a credit to see. He also scored on match day 1 as well, so it's been a great start to the World Cup for him. But that's great to see from Colombia, because it wasn't a great DR Congo performance here. I thought they were timid in their performance. I thought they were very defensive-minded. You're a team that's trying to create history in a FIFA World Cup, and Colombia found it difficult because they were sitting back defensively and they were trying to frustrate them instead of actually advancing themselves to go and try and win the game themselves. And what happens is when you play against quality teams who have top-class players, they'll find a way to beat you, and that's what Colombia did.
It's interesting when we talk about the form of some of Colombia's players. We were talking pre-match about James Rodriguez. You almost can throw his club form out the window. He always turns up for his national side. But a player in this team whose club form has been superb this season, he's been brilliant for Crystal Palace, lifted trophies, won a European trophy, won the Conference League, didn't he? And then carried that form straight into the World Cup is this guy, Daniel Munoz. What is he doing, Whitty, that these teams are unable to cope with?
I'll credit my brother for this joke. We were texting about this game, and he calls him, instead of the right back, the right striker. Because he really is a player who just bombs forward. He gets into such good attacking positions for Colombia. And I think for Palace as well, because they play in that wing-back setup, it's, 3-4-2-1, a 3-4-1-2, whatever you want to call it. It's a perfect setup for him just to get forward, and he has this volume and this ability to get into good positions and not look uncomfortable when he has ventured forward and gotten into those sorts of areas. So, yeah, that is one of those.
McDelivery, you in?
I'm in. Yeah, I well fancy a fillet of fish. Expand your palate.
Bring it home with McDelivery. We don't wear the same kit. We don't tackle the same challenges. And we're not made up of 11. We're a team of teams. We were born in Carlisle, Southend, Lincoln, Sunderland, West London, but we were made in the Royal Navy.
Moments for him where you carry probably the best season of your club career. You win a European trophy, having just won an FA Cup as well, carry it into a World Cup and really make it stick. Honestly, one of the things that is almost disappointing in sort of researching his history and his background is he's 30 years old.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you'd make him a big-time shout to be one of those players that gets a big European move. You don't often see that happen for players in their 30s. Not to say that he's ancient or anything, but it is one of those things where it generally doesn't happen for you. But he has absolutely announced himself on a big stage in the last 18 months, 24 months, and he has is well deserving of the credit that he's going
He
to get in
looks
this
to me,
game.
Ian, and you probably played with players like this during your career. He plays as a right wing back, but you feel like he's got enough in his locker to be able to play almost any position on the pitch.
You know what, Adam? I think it's changed from my time. Fullbacks were fullbacks in my generation. They weren't necessarily wingers, you know? Now I mean, there was the odd player, the Roberto Carloses of this world, to basically put themselves in more advanced positions. But it's not a fullback anymore. It's like a goalkeeper where that position's changed. You've got to be much better with your feet. A fullback now, you essentially need to be good on 1v1s. You need to be incredibly good when it comes to crossing. And you also have to, at times, try to get on the end of crosses. This guy plays in his own position, though. He doesn't play right fullback. He doesn't play right wing back. He doesn't even play right wing. He plays like a right attacker. It's almost as if he's right next to the number 9, waiting to be the next guy to get a goal. Back-to-back games in the World Cup is truly spectacular. Got himself 5 goals and 46 appearances for Crystal Palace across all comps. 4 of them came in the Premier League this season. He's been excellent. Wonderful to watch. And I'm like, Chris, I look at this guy playing. He plays like a 22-year-old. How fast he just bombs forward without even thinking what I've got to do defensively. He's gone. And I love that. That's creative. But I want to see also his teammates play to that standard too. There were a few performers that I expected more from today in a Colombia jersey that didn't really stand up and didn't really grab my attention enough. I wanted to see more from James Rodriguez, even though he did have a good number of chances created. I want to see more from him. I want to see more from Lucho Diaz. Suarez, I thought, looked out of place and many times in this game. So it was crazy to me to see a fullback was the one who actually won the game.
Whitty, there is something to be said, though, and they will need those big-name players to be a bit more involved maybe later on in this tournament where they have to come up against the big nations. But to be able to grind out a result when I know Lucho Diaz was involved much more in the second half and he had those opportunities, a goal disallowed, didn't he? But where you can still get the result that you need without having to rely too heavily on those star players.
Yeah, it's one of those things we talk about in terms of at a World Cup. You want to build up. And so in some ways, you don't want to kind of have everything going perfectly from the off. And I think that has been the story for Colombia at this tournament. I don't think even against Uzbekistan, even though they won the game by 3-1, they were necessarily perfect in that game. No. But they're getting the results now. I think they're a team that is incredibly streetwise and savvy, that has tons of experience. It's one of those incredibly fine lines in analyzing sport, isn't it? When an older team does well, we say that they're experienced. When they do poorly, they're too old and they need a turnover of generation. I think they're on just the right side of it. They're a team that has won so much together. They were fantastic for large portions of qualifying. They got to the final of the last Copa America. So this is a group that is playing very well together, and they always have done. But I guess the question now is, what is that ceiling? What does it look like on Luis Diaz's best day? If James Rodriguez, is this one major tournament too many for him to have been involved in? I think on the evidence of 2 games, he was okay today. But I think on the evidence of 2 games, this might have been one major tournament too many for him in his career. So I think there are definitely some players here that are showing some promise, but is it all going to come together when they play Portugal in the final game of the group?
One of the stats that came out from Opta actually today was James Rodriguez being the first player from Colombia to create 5 goal-scoring opportunities in a World Cup match since Carlos Valderrama did it against England back in 1998. Love these statistics, but I do think we need more from Colombia. I'm really intrigued to see how they handle this final group game, right? Because now you got to go win the group, right? It's great to see these types of performances, but there's a real possibility to see them winning the group would be spectacular. And then you build momentum going into the knockout stages. I actually think now you're also trying to figure out who you're going to come up against when it comes to the knockout stages. Which part of the bracket are you going to end up in now? We're starting to look ahead past these final group games when you're already qualified. Listen, it's good from Colombia, Adam, but there's room for improvement now. And you're coming up against stiffer opposition. That includes match day 3.
It would be Croatia. If it stays as it is, it would be Croatia in the first knockout round. For it could be a lot of teams.
It could be Ghana as well. Those are really the only 2 teams for them. If they win, so basically it comes down to Croatia-Ghana on the final day. If Croatia win that game, they would finish second, potentially even first. Yeah. And then Ghana would finish third. So you'd probably rather play Ghana than Croatia, I would say, at this point.
I don't know.
Welcome to Haaland's Bank, Revolut, where he can custom design his card to match his fit.
Croatia beat Panama 1-0 in Group L in Toronto to keep Croatia's World Cup dream alive and to eliminate Panama. It was a close game, Ian. Did the better team win in the end, do you think?
Yeah, the more adventurous team, the more... Well, certainly the team with the more quality in the final third, they found a way, and they had to be patient. Of course, Croatia, we know through their history, they've always got these moments of brilliance that can occur every now and again in big games, and it has happened once again for them. And they needed to find that moment of magic. It was brilliant to see that second half performance. These substitutes made the difference as well. If it's not working like it wasn't in the first 45 minutes, it's amazing that you can just go to the bench and bring on one of the best goal scorers in La Liga football over the last few years and have him be the difference maker for you. But there were a number of standout performances. Luka Modric, once again, this was a perfect game for him because he didn't have to run too far in this game. All he had to do was just keep possession of the ball and wait for his moments to try and find.
Ahead of them, So, Freuler and Xhaka, the Sunderland captain, with Manzambi, the bright youngster, Vargas and Mbolo leading the line up top as Canada win a set piece deep in Switzerland territory, down by that corner flag. And I tell you what, Dion, I think the Canadian fans are up for this one.
Yeah, it sounds like it, doesn't it? I mean, it's a blatant foul. I mean, Jonathan Davies trying to get on the end of the ball here, down the left wing, and just gets a nudge from the defender for no reason at all. He's going out for a goal kick for Switzerland and nudges Jonathan Davies, or should I say he nudges, he shoves him in the back, gives a needless free kick away, about 5 yards away from the corner flag, down Canada's left. This is going to be an in-swinger with pace, I would imagine. Put themselves under unnecessary pressure.
Well, they only need a point, Canada, but they have started very brightly with real attacking intent. And they have this early set piece with which to try and test the Swiss back line. It's Chouanier, swings it in, it's towards Jonathan David, it's cleared away by Switzerland, out of the penalty area by Manzambi. Lorea is there for Canada, and the ball goes out of play from his header for a Switzerland throw. Let's head for an update from the other game going on in this group, Bosnia and Herzegovina against Qatar in Seattle. Mike Minears across this one.
It's 0-0. We kicked off at exactly in sync, the same time as you did, watching Canada. 2 shots on target already for Bosnia, both outside the box. Demirovic and Sunjic. Abu Nada has been equal to both, 0-0.
Thanks very much, Mike. Mike will be keeping us up to date here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as Switzerland win a free kick just inside the Canadian half. And of course, we will be bringing you full commentary. Scotland against Brazil, as Scotland looks to qualify for the knockout stages of a World Cup for the very first time. 11 o'clock UK time as Canada Now the little nervy header there, Johnston of Celtic, sends the ball behind for a Switzerland corner. So let's run you through the Canadian team. Crepeau in goal, the back four of Johnston, de Fougerolles, Cornelius and Larrea. Ahead of them Buchanan, Chouanier, Saliba and Ahmed, with record goalscorer Jonathan David and Kyle Larin up top. Switzerland preparing to take this corner from the far side. It's swung to the near post. It's a poor delivery. It's headed away by Nathan Saliba, who came off the bench to replace Ismail Kone in the match against Qatar and scored an absolutely cracking free kick from range in off the post. And then, Dion, it was a celebration holding up the shirt of Kone as well that really showed the heart and the love with which Canada were playing today, and with which they're playing right now as the ball is all the way back with Switzerland in their own penalty area.
Yeah, and after he scored that goal as well, and he had that celebration, that was the moment. Obviously, that was the moment for Kone, and the thanks for what you've done, and we hope you're going to be okay. Remembering you, I think we were done then, weren't we? Really, we just wanted to get away out of the studio, at the stadium, because everybody was feeling the same way. There was really no tackles made after that challenge as well. So, yeah, it was a sad moment, but I'm glad we had that celebration moment for him.
Nice control down the right-hand side from Hackers. He's well dispossessed by Ali Ahmed of Norwich City, and then makes the interception as well. Hackers only made his debut back in October. This is his first major tournament, and as we mentioned, his first start for Switzerland. Plays for Stuttgart in the Bundesliga, and has conceded the throw here for Canada, which they will take with Larrea up towards halfway. Goalless in the early stages here, 6 minutes gone here on 5 Live. Canada just need a point to top the group. Switzerland needs to win if they want to knock them off their perch, but both sides effectively already through to the knockout stages. As Canada with the throw, Johnston takes it quickly. It's cleared away by Manuel Akanji. Spent this season on loan at Inter from Manchester City. And Akanji winning the ball once again. And now Granit Xhaka will send the ball out to the right-hand side. Receiving a few boos inside the stadium. Bit of controversy in terms of his comments that he's made, criticising the team in the Swiss media. Rumours that certain players in the Swiss camp found those toxic after he was very critical of their tactical discipline after they conceded late on against Qatar. As Switzerland win a free kick just inside the Canadian half. They've taken it too quickly, and the referee has called play back, and Switzerland will have the set piece just outside the centre circle. Goalless so far, and relatively even so far.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Mbolo there just backing into Cornelius, and really forcing him to defend in a way he doesn't want to defend. He's up strong, and he had to pull him down and pull his shirt, and that's what Switzerland have got to do. Good football into your centre forward, work your way up the pitch, don't rush it, don't go long too early.
So Switzerland in possession. Here is Xhaka forward to Manzambi. It's cleared away by de Fougerolles of Fulham. Spent the season on loan in Belgium with Dender, who were relegated from the top flight. As Akanji will pick it up once more at the back for Switzerland, as the Canada fans around us raise their voices. I say the Canada fans, this is the difficulty, listeners, inside the stadium here, because both Canada and Switzerland, their home kits, their usual kits, are the same shade of bright red. So I was looking around, particularly during the Swiss national anthem, as Switzerland had the ball inside their own penalty area, because I could hear the Switzerland fans, but Dion, I couldn't see the Switzerland fans because they were all intermingled with the Canadians. And honestly, you look around, I mean, it could be a home match for Switzerland or for Canada, as that ball from Switzerland goes out of play and Canada have a throw on the halfway line, 0-0.
Yeah, I think that is, I've got to say, that is a huge positive to this tournament and where it's being played, with all the fans being intermingling, and you see them all queuing up at the same time, and they're all in the same sections of the stands. Yeah, you're going to have groups of them that get tickets in the same state, in the same part of the stand, but on the whole, everybody's in really good spirits. They're enjoying the competition.
And as we hit the 8th minute here, this is another lovely touch. Switzerland have a throw over on the far side, but again, fans around the stadium are holding up these pieces of paper that have been given to them by the Canadian Ultras group, the Voyageurs, that say 8. It's white backing, it's the red 8 lettering on it, as Switzerland shepherd that ball out for a goal kick. And we've just seen a cutaway of Ismail Kone, who is here with his broken leg. He's sitting on the Canadian bench, and again the support for Kone inside the stadium for their stricken number 8. who will miss the rest of the tournament and has a long recovery ahead of him after having surgery on that broken leg. As Switzerland come down the left-hand side. Here is Johan Manzambi, who draws the foul again and wins the free kick again over on the far side. And just to say as well, there's been some lovely pictures in the Canadian press of Asim Madibo, the Qatari player who caused that injury, going to visit Ismail Kone in hospital, and the two of them having a big hug. Kone stretching up from that wheelchair with Madibo standing at his side. As Canada try and win possession through Tejan Buchanan, who does so, but he's given it away, and forward comes Switzerland, and here's Mbolo inside the area, lays it off nicely, but it can't be controlled by Djibril Sow, and Canada clear up towards the halfway line, but Switzerland are really settling into this deal with 10 minutes gone, 0-0.
Yeah, Djibril there just wanted Mbolo just to hold on to that ball just for a second longer and roll it into his path. Unfortunately, he bounced it at him, he lost control on the edge of the Canadian 18-yard line, and they just couldn't get that chance when it was on as well.
So Switzerland coming forward, and that's a lovely ball in Bolo. Flag stays down, very good save by Crepeau, and then blocked away by Derek Cornelius with Manzambi on the follow-up. And listen to the roar from Vancouver. That was brilliant goalkeeping, brilliant defending, would have been a tight one. VAR would have had a look for offside as the whistle eventually goes on this near side, and Canada have the free kick. But my word, that's galvanised the crowd in here. Super defending, Dion.
Yeah, and honestly, it's a one-on-one. I think it might be Mbolo, I'm not quite sure. Mbolo one-on-one, he's at the penalty spot. He just tries to pass it by Crepeau, but Crepeau stays big, really stands tall for a long time. Mbolo's now thinking, what do I do, because he hasn't gone down. Keeper does nothing but stays big, and then the finish is poor, I've got to say. He's got to just slide it down near the keeper's feet. That is a huge chance, best chance yet.
And it did look like from the replay that he was onside, so huge double opportunity for Switzerland with Manzambi on the follow-up. Big defending from Canada as Switzerland almost get themselves into a muddle at the back. Elvedi and Coble between them, but the offside flag is up on the far side, and Switzerland will have a free kick anyway. But 10 goals this season for Rennes, for Brem, Brel and Bolo in Ligue 1. Has already scored at the tournament, got the opener against Qatar from the penalty spot. But it was a big opportunity not taken. A reminder, both of these sides effectively through already to the knockout stages, but Switzerland need to win if they want to go through as group winners. Canada, no, just a point will see them through top of the standings, will give them a last 32 tie against a third place team rather than the runners-up from Group A, which is who the runners-up in this group will face. And also crucially would mean they would stay in Canada for the start of the knockout stages, and they really are building some momentum in the country with the backing of this home crowd as the ball is all the way back to Coble for Switzerland, and Elvedi will bring it forward once more. 12 minutes gone, Dion Dublin.
Yeah, I mean, Switzerland are looking good actually, looking very confident with the ball and playing some really good stuff. Manzambi in that midfield number 10 role, and Vargas and Soy all just getting very, very close to Mbolo there, giving him lots and lots of help.
Oh, advantage played here for Canada, and Carl Larin is in. The flag stays down for now. It's Larin round the goalkeeper, not quite. Coble got a touch to it, and Larin will pull it back to the edge of the area. Now Saliba sees it blocked off a Akanji, and eventually the flag goes up. Dion, you were already waving the imaginary flag, and the Switzerland players are furious. They feel the flag should have gone up sooner. Well, they do have the technology, FIFA here. If it's more than a 10-centimetre offside, they can buzz to the assistant and flag go up straight away. Akanji is now coming over to the referee to complain. But must have been tighter, was a clear goal-scoring opportunity. Larin was in, and now he's the one that can't take advantage of a one-on-one, albeit offside.
And I suppose that's one of the laws that's in place. That little 5-10 seconds after what I could see was an offside from up here, 100 yards away, I could see it was offside. You never know, there might be players that get injured within that 5-10 seconds, and that's the thing I don't like about that rule. Let the linesman make the decision. If he gets it wrong, he gets it wrong. Let him make the decision.
Ball out to the left-hand side, and here goes Switzerland once more. It's Manzambi, the youngster, looking lively in these early stages, but Canada have stolen it. They can't make it stick, though, and Switzerland come forward again. They are the better side at the moment, Switzerland, as that long ball forward for Mbolo. Won't reach him. It's all the way through with Maxime Crepeau, the Canadian goalkeeper, all in dark blue. as Canada work it out to the right-hand side. They are the highest-ranked side in the group, Switzerland, as Canada win a free kick over on the far side. 19th in the standings to Canada's 32nd. But so far, apart from that last 16 or so minutes against Bosnia and Herzegovina, which was 0-0 until the 74th minute, and then they won by 4-1. To be fair, they did pepper the Qatari goal with plenty of chances in their opener, which they ended up conceding late on and drew 1-1 as the ball goes out of play for a Switzerland goal kick. But they've not really brought their A game so far at this tournament. This is better, though, from Switzerland in terms of performance.
Yeah, they look, I mean, everything goes through Granit Xhaka, as you would expect. Got the armband on, taking charge of everything. They've got a leader at the back as well, in Akanji, as we know him very well for being at City. And Mbolo as well up top. They've got a very strong core to their side.
And here they come down the right-hand side. Jaquez is going to chase this. Larrea gets there and then is fouled, so that will be a free kick to Canada just outside their own penalty area. Let's get an update from the other game in this group going on in Seattle, Bosnia and Herzegovina against Qatar. Mike Minor is watching.
15 minutes played, 0-0. The issue for Qatar against Switzerland, as you said, Vicky, was missed chances. Well, they've just missed their first big one. Ball down the middle, split the defenders. Afif, though, as he was chasing it, tried to wriggle his body, adjust his body. It allowed Sunjic to slide in, poke the ball away, and then his goalkeeper's legs to send it out for a throw-in. Bosnia 0, Qatar 0.
Thanks very much, Mike. Same scoreline here between Switzerland and Canada, live from BC Place in Vancouver. Both of these sides effectively through. This is about who tops the group. As it stands, with a draw, it'll be Canada. As Larrea takes the throw, it's cleared away by Elvedi for Switzerland. The countdown continuing to Scotland against Brazil. Less than 3 hours until kick-off now. Alistair Lamont and Pat Nevin will bring you commentary on 5 Live as Canada have the ball in the penalty area. Switzerland trying to clear. Larin chests it down but can't get the shot away. And Switzerland will get the ball away. And Bolo does well, looking for the run of Manzambi, and Manzambi's using his pace. And Larrea's there, a little push in the back from Larrea. Ooh, not once but twice. Manzambi down. Referee says no penalty. Diffuserol taps Larrea on the chest to say well done. Well, might not have been enough in it, Dion, but he's had a couple of goes there, Larrea. Was he taking a bit of a risk?
Yeah, he was. I mean, to be honest with you, Larrea's done incredibly well there, because Mbolo there makes a lovely run down the right-hand side, and then he eventually finds his way into the box. He's waiting for the contact from Larrea, but the contact doesn't come, but he leans into him, wanting the contact. Larrea there, very, very good.
Oh, that's a lovely layoff. Manzambi and Bolo straight into the arms of Crepo. A low drive, didn't have the pace and didn't have the power. Switzerland are getting into good positions, but unable to punish Canada so far. 0-0.
Yeah, can't keep doing that, Canada. They've got to be careful. Diffusero and Cornelius there at the heart of the defence. They've got to be closer together. The gap between them is far too big.
But that's a lovely turn by Larrea on halfway. Goes down the left-hand side. It's swiped away by Elvedi. So putting on the pressure, but Canada will pick it up with Saliba. Nice ball in field to Chouanier, who was fouled. Vargas trying to burst forward for Switzerland, but the whistle's gone. And it will be a free kick to Canada, Dion Dublin.
Good game this, really good game, lively game, both sides, just what we used to call hand-on play. You get the ball, you put your hand on it, you stop it from rolling, and then you play as quick as you possibly can. It sometimes catches the opponents off guard, and both teams are wanting to do it. Nobody's hanging about, wanting to play slow. Everybody's playing quick, positive. It's good to watch.
Yes, it feels like two teams that are playing with nothing to lose, in the fact that they've effectively already qualified for the knockout stages, as Canada get a free kick over on the far side. Switzerland protests from Ricardo Rodriguez are swiftly ended by the referee, and Canada will have a set piece. 0-0.
Yeah, good battle down that right-hand, Canada's right-hand side. Buchanan there is staying as high as he possibly can, and Rodriguez is not sure. Do I nip in front to try and get it? Do I wait for him to receive it? Is at 6s and 7s at the moment. Buchanan just takes it round him and he just brings him down. So good battles all over the park at the moment. It's good.
It's an interesting parallel with Tajon Buchanan when it comes to injury during a tournament than Ismail Kone. We'll tell you about that during the hydration break. We've got to use it for something, haven't we, dear?
Yeah, I need one as well, please. Thank you. Here they come. Look, they're all standing up.
So Canada's fans around the stadium rise as Canada prepare to take this set piece. It's swung in and Buchanan was in there, and it bounces all the way through to Gregor Kobel. Switzerland have a player down outside their own penalty area. Kobel has bowled the ball out of play over arm, as Remo Freuler it is, who is being helped to his feet and now complains to the referee about whatever was going on there. But it was another good delivery from the midfielder Mathieu Chouanier, who's making his World Cup debut, the 27-year-old, due to injuries to Kone and also Eustachio, who's got a hamstring issue, and he's been doing well from set pieces.
Yeah, just get that ball into good areas. I mean, the Canadians are very, very dangerous. Two centre-halves went up as well. They were closest to that ball. Everybody missed it. There must have been about five white shirts in there. Canada very positive.
So Switzerland in possession inside their own penalty area. Well, when they get on their attacking game, Canada, they are aggressive. They like to win the ball back high up the pitch and use these fast counter-attacks down the wings, very energetic. That style is double maple pressing by the Canadian press, which I do love. And Bolo puts on a good press for Switzerland there. No, not in the referee's opinion. It was a foul on Larrea, and the ball goes out over the halfway line, but it will be brought back for a Canadian free kick. I've not had the chance yet to try any maple candy here in Canada, Dion, which has been a great regret so far for me for this World Cup.
Still time.
I remember coming actually to America when I was younger, and you can get these maple sugar candies that are in the shape of a maple leaf. I've not seen any so far, so I'll have to keep my eyes peeled. But maple pressing is what the Canadian press dubbed that particular Canadian style of high pressing up the pitch and fast counter-attacks down the wings as the ball goes out of play for a Canada throw. Just inside their own half is Jesse Marsh, the former Leeds United manager, ever animated on the touchline in that dark suit with the white shirt. Now stands with his hands in his pockets as Larrea launches the ball forward from the throw, looking for the run of Kyle Larin, and goes all the way through to Gregor Kobel in the Switzerland penalty area. The goalkeeper all in bright yellow. Not quite finding the connections, Canada, are they, that they were against Qatar? Of course, the level of opposition in Switzerland is much higher.
Yeah, they're easing their way into the game, though. Switzerland have started very well.
And the offside flag stays down against Manzambi. Not sure about that. Now it does go up. It's an interesting one, and Bolo was there. Manzambi looked clearly offside, and he was the one who made a play for the ball. So the assistant did eventually flag on this near side, but I wonder whether we are going to see a few delayed flags here. Oh, actually, having said it, I mean, it was offside, but it was perhaps a little tighter initially than I thought. So, here we go. Here's the hydration break, and you can hear what Vancouver, and the Swiss fans as well, we have to say, we honestly can't pick them out from the Canadian fans. They're all in bright red. What they think of this, although several fans are using the opportunity to head for the concourses. So, 0-0 here. Assessment of this first... I'm not even going to... I can't bring myself to say quarter of the game, even though that's what it is. Assessment of this first 22 minutes and 22 seconds of this match, Dion Dublin.
I've enjoyed it. I really have. It's good to watch. It's fast. It's furious. Both sides playing short at times, going long at times, especially Switzerland. They're waiting for the press, and they're dropping it in to Mbolo, and they're trying to get up the pitch. Canada just easing their way into the game. Couple of half chances towards the end of this first, I'm going to say it as well, quarter. So, yeah, I'm enjoying the game.
So, hydration break going on here. Let's head for an update from the Women's T20 World Cup. England against the West Indies. Phoebe Graham.
West Indies are just facing the first ball of the second innings. They've got 186 to chase. England put on a great partnership. Danny Wyatt-Hodge scored 65, Heather Knight 43, Sophie Eccleston came in and scored 4 off the last ball. So a big total for the West Indies to chase down in this top of the table clash. Whoever wins this fixture will go through to the semi-final automatically. West Indies 1-0 after the first over and chasing 186.
Thank you very much, Phoebe. Commentary continues on Sports Extra, and let's head for an update from the other game in this group, Bosnia and Herzegovina against Qatar. Mike Mino.
Yeah, drinks break here as well. Called timely, actually, with a Qatar player biting his own tongue when heading a ball in the wall from a free kick. Nasty, little short, painful one. That one 0-0. Bosnia, the only side with the attempts on goal so far. It's the Qatar goalkeeper, Mahmoud Abu Nada, the focus. 2 saves from long-range efforts pushed away. He's not the most confident, and we've seen that in this World Cup. A rising shot from Basic 5 minutes ago or so, always rising. He flung at it anyway, Abu Nada, and ended up pole dancing with the left-hand frame of the goal. Bosnia third as it stands. They're drawing 0-0 with Qatar.
Thank you very much, Mike. And the countdown continues to Scotland against Brazil. Just over 2.5 hours to go. It's live on BBC One. You can sync up 5 Live commentary via the iPlayer as well during the match if you'd like to do that. And on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, Alistair Lamont and Pat Nevin will be talking you through the action from Miami as Scotland looks to qualify for the knockout stages of a World Cup for the very first time. So, drinks break over, we're about to get underway, and let's just touch on that story that involves Tajon Buchanan, because in terms of a serious leg break to a player during a tournament, Canada have been here before. It happened to Buchanan, who broke his leg in training during Copa America a couple of years ago, and Canada actually went on to make the semi-finals in that tournament. And Jesse Marsh spoke after the Qatar game in his press conference talking about the similarities between the two incidents and the way that the players rallied around Buchanan and ultimately used it as momentum to drive them on as Canada in possession on this left-hand side. But Dion, it's just one of those quirks, isn't it, of this Canadian team, so many of them involved at Copa America, that they've almost experienced the heartbreak and how to be resilient amidst it already at a tournament just a couple of years ago, as Larea thought he might have won a corner there, but it goes out of play for a Switzerland goal kick, 0-0.
Yeah, it will help them as well, because they'll try and get it back into the mindset of how did I deal with it that time, I need to deal with it again. So get yourself back into that positive mindset, knowing full well that your teammate is okay. It's really difficult, having been in that situation, to blank it out of your mind.
So Switzerland in possession, they've worked that well under pressure up towards the halfway line. There's Cornelius, clears away for Canada, flicked on by Nathan Saliba. Kanji is there for Switzerland. Strong challenge over on that far side by Johnston, who's down. And Switzerland also have a player down as well. Looks like a painful one over on that far side for Vargas. So play temporarily stops. Both players look in pain, but again, it's hard not to come back to this stadium and immediately think, okay, how serious is this? It doesn't look overly serious for either player. It's actually Vargas, as we see a replay, who just catches Johnston there, just above his ankle, just with the toe of that pink boot.
I think they both caught each other, to be honest with you. I think there was a bit of a knee into Johnston, and Vargas there was committed as well. I don't think there was a free kick given. I think the referee got it absolutely spot on. It's just one of those, oh yeah, don't forget, it's a game of football and you are allowed to tackle, and it is a contact sport. So the referee so far has been incredibly thorough with what he's seen. He's had a look at it and he's thought no, and he's let it go. Been good so far. And players have been running up to the referee. Referee's got his finger out as if to say, don't come any further, otherwise I will give you a yellow card.
So Switzerland with Elvedi play the ball over the top. Johnston trying to make that interception for Canada, but he's beaten in the air. Cornelius, though, will get his head on it inside the penalty area, and then Johnston does well. Clears the ball out of play under pressure from Vargas. There was a little low five between the two as they both got back up eventually to their feet after that coming together. And Switzerland have it once more. It's goalless. Saliba's done well, stolen it from Switzerland just inside the Canadian half, and now they're breaking forward down the right-hand side. It's Tajon Buchanan, goes down. Well, he's furious there with the challenge from Manuel Akanji. Ball goes out of play for a Switzerland's goal kick, and there's just a little bit of needle starting to creep in here, Dion. 0-0.
It's good, I like it. I like the needle.
I can tell by your smile.
Buchanan, I mean, he gets by Rodriguez on this occasion just with the run, but Kanji with his experience gets himself into the area where the ball's just reaching, and he gets there with his strength. Buchanan knocks it by him and tries to get a free kick by falling to the floor, and Akanji's not happy at all.
It's a lovely ball by Freuler out to the left-hand side for Switzerland, but well read by Celtic's Mr. Johnston. And cleared forwards. And Akanji will make the interception for Switzerland. And now Ricardo Rodriguez has it once more. 0-0, 29 minutes gone here on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Don't forget to download the Football Daily, coming from LA during the entire tournament. as it will have all the reaction to the Scotland-Brazil game, and of course the rest of the day's action as well, but it's all about Scotland-Brazil later this evening. As Canada come down the right-hand side, nicely worked to Buchanan. Akanji did really well, just used all that experience that Dion Dublin was talking about to shepherd the ball out of play. A goal in the other game in this group, Bosnia and Herzegovina against Qatar. Mike Minor.
And what a goal as well, but no surprise. Kerim Alaibegovic with a long-range strike just to the right of the D, put his laces through it, and it flew past Abu Nada. The outstretched Qatar goalkeeper could do nothing, nearly took the net off, and Bosnia now lead Qatar by a goal to nil, shoring up third place in the group as it stands.
Thank you very much, Mike. Yes, such a talented young player, Kerim Alaibegovic, and good to see him really bringing the party to this World Cup. It hasn't quite been the tournament that he's been hoping for so far, but as Mike has just described for us there, scoring a stunner, giving them the lead against Qatar. Ooh, Granit Xhaka, that was naughty. Switzerland had a free kick there. Kyle Larin was standing in front of it. Xhaka's gone to take it. So naughty from Larin initially, but I think Xhaka has not only fired the ball there at Larin, but he might have caught Larin there. And the referee's got a bit of decision to make here. Well, he's having a very eventful World Cup in terms of what he's been saying, Granit Xhaka. Let's see. Oh, I tell you what, Larin's kicked it away. Then Xhaka's gone to kick it and swung and kicked Larin in the shin. Pick the bones out of that one, Dion Dublin. I'm glad I'm not the referee.
Get up and play on. Gosh, he hardly touched you. Don't kick the ball away and you won't get kicked. As simple as that. I mean, the ball's a yard in front of him. He walks back towards his goal. He actually steps over the ball, so he's about a yard away from the ball now. And I mean, they're having a hug now. They're having a hug, saying, you know, sorry I did that, sorry I did that. But just don't kick the ball away. Get out the way and you won't get kicked in the shin. Xhaka did nothing wrong at all there.
So both of them are being called over to the referee, and both of them have been booked. And now Xhaka is not happy with that at all. He's shaking his head in disgust. And you are right, Dion. It's Larin who kicks the ball away. Xhaka then follows through. I mean, that follow through was, I don't know. Did he mean that? Did he know the ball had gone? I mean,
he tried to pull out, Vicky. He tried to pull out. You know, he did. If he'd have struck through the ball as he would properly, he would have hurt Larin, but he didn't. I just think it's ridiculous. 2 yellow cards there. They both could have done without those yellow cards now going into latter stages if they make it. It's just silly to do that.
Well, Xhaka, we'll see how Switzerland and Canada both respond to that. Switzerland in possession, but it was Larin, we have to say, who instigated that entire situation. If he doesn't kick the ball away, then whether slightly intentionally or not, Xhaka, who was, I think, initially just going to take the free kick quickly and make the point that Larin was standing there, which is fair enough. And now Larin could do damage at the other end. He's into the penalty area for Canada, went for the bottom corner, too close to Coble.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lovely run, actually, from Larin. He actually goes as if he's going to go down the right-hand side of the centre-half, and he just steps back into the pitch. And the ball gets rolled into him, he gets into the box, and he just can't find the correct finish. He was on his left foot. If that's me, I'm swinging my left foot because I'm comfortable and the defender's a long way away, but he tries to get it on his favoured right and curl it past the keeper to the far post, and he just didn't get it right. No power, but a lovely run and a lovely connection with the midfield.
So 12.5 minutes to go until the break. Currently goalless between Switzerland and Canada, but this is nice, and Switzerland down the left-hand side. It's Vargas into the penalty area. And I think he got himself in a bit of a muddle there. He saw the unrushing Mbolo, and at the near post ended up dragging the shot too close to goalkeeper Maxim Crepeau.
I mean, I've got it down the left-hand side. What a run from Vargas. He actually comes towards the ball. Johnston comes with him, and then you go in behind. So Johnston's moving forward when Vargas is going in behind him. All he's got to do is roll it across the box. He didn't need the first touch. You play it in first time, and your team are one ahead because Mbolo's in the centre of the goal, and he wasn't going to miss. That's a big, big chance. Vargas has let them down there.
So, still goalless because of that. A point is enough for Canada to win the group. Switzerland have to win if they want to knock them off top spot. Both sides effectively through already to the knockout stages for the first ever time for Canada at a Men's World Cup. The Switzerland under pressure. There's that maple pressing we were talking about. Canada pressing high up the pitch as Switzerland clear up towards halfway. And will be kept alive in the Switzerland's half as they eventually draw the foul. It's Jonathan David In fact, no, the referee had blown for the free kick, but then spotted over on the far side that the offside flag was up anyway. So it's a free kick to Switzerland, not Canada. And Switzerland's get us moving once more. Less than 2.5 hours now until Scotland kick off against Brazil in Miami. Full commentary on 5 Live and BBC Sounds will be coming up from 11 p.m. UK time. Switzerland in possession just inside the Canadian half, and Gibril So will work it back to Nico Elvedi. Now Xhaka in field to Remo Freuler. This is nicely worked by Switzerland to pull it back once more to So. Exchanges passes with Xhaka. And So chips the ball forward looking for Brelin Bolo, who does well to hold it up under real pressure from the white shirts of Canada. Now Xhaka once more out to the left-hand side. He's asking a lot of Vargas there. He's asking too much of Vargas there. Ball goes behind to Canadian cheers for a Canada goal kick. Dion Dublin.
Yeah, what I do like about the Switzerland team is they don't leave their teammate on his own, whether he's squeezing the ball or has the ball. They've got lots of red shirts around your teammates, so they always have a pass on. They look very sharp in the final third, and they have created a couple of hard chances, but they've got to be careful because we know how quick Canada can break. So this is a really good first half. No goals, but a really good first half.
Switzerland in possession with Akanji. Out to the left-hand side, and now Ricardo Rodriguez as Joan Manzambi will work it back to Rodriguez once more, and Akanji has it. And we'll look for the long pass out to this right-hand side. It's Jaquez who will control beautifully with those pink boots. Swings the ball into the area early, and Bolo went down. Was he dragged down there by Diffuserol? He's appealing Mbolo for a penalty. Nothing doing from the referee. Ball's out of play for a Switzerland throw on halfway. The referee is just saying wait. And they're going to have a look at this VAR. Let's have a look at it ourselves here in the gantry, Dion.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. We've had one quick view of that. I can't make anything out from that view. We've had a second and it just flashed off the screen. It's gone now, so referee just says waves it on.
Yeah, he says continue. Goal, Bosnia and Herzegovina against Qatar. Mike Maine.
2-0 to Bosnia. Lovely work on the left-hand side. Drop of the shoulder, reverse pass, early cross. Edin Dzeko at 40 years old met it on the volley. He scuffed it though. It comes off the standing leg of Sultan Albrek and deflects in at the near post. Bosnia 2, Qatar 0.
Thank you very much, Mike. So Switzerland here. Meanwhile, if on a free kick, Laraya, though, of Canada is down, coming off worst in that challenge with Mbolo, but it's the Swiss who have the set piece. Central position, 27 yards out, I would say. And Dion Dublin, this is Granit Xhaka territory.
It is, yeah, very specific. They're 27, not 28 or 25.
Well, it's one of these pitches, which there's so many now, where they mow it in strips. So you've got the 18-yard line, so I'm kind of adding 6, so that's 24.
Okay.
Oh no, I think maybe, well, I think it's 26 and a half.
26 and a half, yeah, that's his distance. Not quite 27.
It's very quick maths. Luckily, the permutations in this group are relatively simple, unless there's a 9-goal swing somewhere, and then we've got to start worrying. But there won't be. I'm going to be pretty confident of that. So, well, I said Xhaka. Akanji is there as well. Of course, another set-piece specialist. Let's see who it is. It is Granit Xhaka, and it's over the bar.
Yeah, I thought he might have gone with a little bit more power. He's gone to try and bend it round the wall in that top corner. I thought with his power, I thought he might have gone with laces there on the keeper's side, just to sort of double bluff, way off target.
So, 7 minutes plus added time to go here in Vancouver. Still goalless between Switzerland and Canada. That would mean that Canada would top the group. Switzerland would finish second. As we say, both sides are effectively already through to the knockouts. Canada, that's the first time for them. For Switzerland, it's the 7th successive major tournament since failing to qualify all out for Euro 2012. They have made the knockouts in every single major tournament since then. It will be the 4th World Cup in a row. This is their 13th World Cup in their history as they come down the right-hand side. Canada making the knockouts on their 3rd appearance at the finals. And Switzerland have the throw. Remo Freuler sends it back to the halfway line, and here is Elvedi as we approach half-time and we edge ever nearer to kick-off between Scotland and Brazil. 11 o'clock UK time. Join us on 5 Live and BBC Sounds You can watch on BBC One as well if you'd like to. Sync it up with the 5 Live commentary via the iPlayer. So, ball out of play for a Switzerland throw. Back to Bosnia, Qatar. Mike Mine.
Well, he may not have been credited with the second goal, Edin Dzeko, but he's trying to get his own here. He split the defence. Lovely run. Even at 40 years old, there's pace in those legs. Left-footed effort across goal from the left of the D, and he hits the right-hand frame. It is still Bosnia 2, Qatar 0.
Thanks, Mike. Canada have won a free kick here, left-hand side of the Switzerland half with Ali Ahmed. Dion Dublin, Edin Dzeko, what a player.
What a player, what a centre forward. Hey, steady on, Mike, by the way. I retired at 39. My legs were okay, by the way, let me tell you.
Off you go then.
Well, no, it's a bit hot today. It's a bit hot. I was actually at Norwich City when I retired at 39. And I remember Delia Smith asking me to go on for another year. So I could have had a contract at 40, so me and Edin Dzeko could have played at 40 together.
What could have been, Dion? What could have been? Here is Chouanier, swings the free kick into the Switzerland penalty area. Switzerland clear it away, but then Ali Ahmed goes down. That looked like another free kick too, as it's blazed over by Alistair Johnston for Canada outside the D. But he's been relatively quiet. Ali Ahmed so far made a big impact in the first game off the bench against Bosnia, then started against Qatar and did well, the Norwich man, but so far hasn't really got into the game against Switzerland.
No, hasn't had much of the ball, to be honest, to make any impact. I think Switzerland have been very, very good in possession, looking very positive. Canada have had a really good shape and tried to get themselves into the final third. They haven't on many occasions. It's been really all Switzerland, I think.
Here are Canada with a bit of possession though. Buchanan just about keeping it in and does well to find Johnston. And forward now to Jonathan David, their record goal scorer. Good vision to find Ali Ahmed, and the shot is poor. It was spilled actually by Gregor Kobel, and it goes behind for a Switzerland corner. But that was Canada's best move of the game.
Yeah, I mean, Ahmed there on the left. I mean, the ball gets played from the right through the white shirts. Jonathan David just rolls it into Ahmed's stride. All he has to do is just curl it into the corner it's just come from. It's not a difficult finish. He chooses to go to the near post. I mean, he's got a corner because the keeper tips it around the post, but that's a really poor effort, by the way. Got to do better with that.
So, Chouanier for Canada, who has delivered some good set pieces so far in his World Cup debut, stands over this one from the near side. It's a packed 6-yard box as Chouanier swings it in, and it's cleared away by Switzerland, collected by Larea, and will be sent forward once more towards that Switzerland penalty area. It's a good run by Larea down the right-hand side, and well pressured by Switzerland, but they're sitting very deep at the moment, Switzerland, as Alistair Johnston picks up that ball for Canada as they send it back on the halfway line. It's goalless here. A point means Canada win the group. Switzerland need to win if they're to knock them off top spot. Both sides effectively already through to the knockout stages. As Switzerland through Manzambi make the interception, looking for that run of Mbolo. It's cleared away by Crepeau. Turns into a good clearance, and Canada will just about retain possession in the centre circle with Nathan Saliba out to the left-hand side, and Chouanier now picked up by Ali Ahmed, up against Johan Manzambi. Nice ball by Ali Ahmed into the centre for Jonathan David. Switzerland get the foot in, but Saliba will pick it up. Had to evade the referee there as well as Remo Freuler, and does so. Saliba, that's a poor ball from Jonathan David, but Switzerland and Vargas can't retain possession. Here's Johnston, good pressure this from Canada. Johnston into the area, forward by Larin, looking for Jonathan David, cleared away by Switzerland. Diffuserol wins the header, it's forward by So. Diffuserol then bundled over by Ruben Vargas, and that will be a free kick to Canada, just inside their own half. Dion Dublin.
Yeah, it's clever from Switzerland because they're defending when they need to defend in numbers, and they're getting red shirts behind the ball, but when they do break, Mbolo's up there, Manzambi's getting close to him as quick as he possibly can. And sometimes Canada look in a slight disarray when they're defending when they have the ball. They have to be better and expect that long ball.
Here comes a long ball from Canada. Diffuser forward, Buchanan flicks it on. No danger for Switzerland, and Akanji will shepherd it behind. Another goal between Bosnia and Qatar. Mike Minay.
First shot on target, first goal, and Qatar are back in the game. Bosnia 2, Qatar 1. Cross from the right, cushion back into the middle, and captain Hassan Al-Haydos was there. Right-footed finish into the back of the net from close range. Bosnia 2, Qatar 1.
Thank you very much, Mike, keeping us up to date with the other group match in Group B, taking place in Seattle. Here in Vancouver, it's still goalless between Switzerland and Canada. As Canada come forward, it's Jonathan David, drives wide, few yards wide from just outside the area. But this is more promising for Canada.
It is. Unfortunately for both sides at the moment, they're getting into decent positions. No real clear-cut chances at present, but I don't know, they seem to be suffocating the person on the ball. So there's red shirts diving in at the white shirts, and opposite end when Canada are defending as well. So nobody's had a chance to lift their head and strike the ball cleanly because they've been blocked by defenders throwing their bodies in, which is the way to go. It's very, very even. It's a very good game. 44 minutes gone.
And it's still goalless as Alvedi is on the ball. He's one of 2 Switzerland players who, if they pick up a yellow in this game, would be suspended for the round of 32. They're wiping them twice in this World Cup because it's so big, FIFA, at the end of the group stage and at the end of the quarterfinals. So a little less jeopardy than there has been in previous tournaments, but a few players, 2 for Switzerland, 3 for Canada, walking that tightrope. And for Canada, it's 3 out of 4 of their back line who picked up yellows in previous matches and need to be careful not to get another one. Johnston, Diffuser and Cornelius as well, as we enter 4 minutes of added time at the end of this absorbing first half between Switzerland and Canada. A point will see Canada qualify as group winners. Switzerland need to win if they're to take that away from them. And a reminder that the group winners will play a third place team, and crucially for Canada, they will stay in Canada for the start of the knockouts. Back here in Vancouver, as the ball is out to the left-hand side from Mbolo. Gone out of play for a Switzerland throw. And Switzerland take it quickly as they have it in the centre circle. Out to the left-hand side, and Manuel Akanji and now Ricardo Rodriguez getting forward from left back. Sliding clearance from Canada, and Crepo can't reach it. That's going to be a Switzerland corner over on the far side. Dion Dublin.
Yeah, this could be the last corner that Switzerland get in this half. I think a bit of a decent delivery just under the crossbar because all the red shirts are going to crowd round Crepo there. He's about 2 yards away from the centre of his goal, and he's got 2 or 3 red shirts around him. And Canada again going in like a zonal marking situation here. 5 doing the space and 3 doing the marking.
Well, they have been tested from set pieces at this World Cup, Canada. Let's see if Switzerland can test them here. It's a high leaping delivery. No is the answer. Big header away from the centre half, Derek Cornelius. Back into the box by Switzerland, and Crepo comes and takes charge and will launch the ball over the halfway line, looking for the run over on this left-hand side of Ali Ahmed, but it's well defended by Ricardo Rodriguez all the way back to Gregor Kobel. 0-0, 2 minutes gone of added time in this first half.
Yeah, Rodriguez there knowing full well that Crepo in that Canada goal wanted to go quick to Jonathan David, and he did so well there, Rodriguez. He made sure that Jonathan David stayed goal side, nice and physical, got the ball back to his keeper and quashed that potential danger.
So here is Nico Alvedi all the way back to Gregor Kobel. Does feel like both sides are maybe slowing it down in the warm temperatures. We're in the mid-20s here in Vancouver.
It is warm, isn't it?
It is, and again, we mentioned this when we were here for the Qatar game, but inside the stadium here in BC Place, they have a roof that can be open or closed, and they are closing it for all of the World Cup games. So it means that a lot of the noise stays inside the stadium as the ball goes out of play for a Canadian throw inside their own half, but also a lot of the heat stays in the stadium as well. It just feels very muggy, doesn't it, Dion?
Absolutely, we're not too far away from the roof as well. We're so high up. We have some great vantage points, don't we, when we're doing the games. The stadiums have been outstanding. The organisation and the concourses and getting here and shuttle buses has been outstanding as well, and the games we've done have been brilliant.
Yeah, it has been very well run, and we have to say the friendliness of the volunteers as well, both in the USA and Canada, where Dion and I have been down this west coast, have been so helpful. It's been a really lovely experience going to the games, and you can feel the excitement of the fans as well as Switzerland come down the right-hand side. Here's Mbolo, plays the ball just into the area, nice little back heel from Freuler, and Mbolo then committing the foul, and it will be a free kick to Canada. Their record goal scorer Jonathan David back there doing his defensive duties, gets a pat on the back from Luc de Fougerolles, the defender, who waves that back line forward, and Canada have a free kick inside their own penalty area. 0-0, 20 seconds to go in this first half. Dion Dublin.
Yeah, it's good to see. But, you know, defenders sometimes have to rely on centre forwards to defend. You know, let me tell you, I've done a bit of that. I've been in both boxes.
And you never, as a centre forward, would have shirked your defensive duties, would you?
No, of course not.
Let me get back as quick as I can. So there is the half-time whistle. A good half of football, an absorbing half of football. Dion Dublin.
I think it's been great. I mean, we've not had many attempts on goal, but the intentions of both managers and both teams have been to try and win this game. Switzerland, I think, have played the better stuff through the middle of the pitch. Obviously, Granit Xhaka's the man who's taken charge of that, but up top I like Mbolo and Manzambi as well, just playing in and around his toes, and Vargas and so down the right hand side are very, very positive. But the danger is Canada have so much pace.
That splitting pass, but I thought Stanisic was outstanding on that right-hand side for Croatia, getting forward and eventually got the assist for the goal.
From the Panama perspective, they're eliminated now after two 1-0 defeats. Do you think they'll be frustrated about how close they potentially were to getting a result from both of those games?
Yeah, I think they would have to be thinking that if Coco Carrasquilla were healthy, that they would have had a much better chance of surviving. And I think as well, just the number of positions that they got into, this goes in both games. They were 1-0 defeats, and they had less of the ball, and they had less shots in theory. But I still think that they had moments where they really got after Croatia in this game. They had moments where they really got after Ghana. They were just incredibly frustrating in the final third. And that, I think, is what you'd be banging your head in if you're a Panama fan watching your team. We're so good at most aspects of the game. We get into the final third, and it's like they lose their heads. The crosses are all over the place. There is no synchronicity in the movements between forward players to get into the right positions to create chances. And I just think that Panama lacked cool heads in the final third, and that's the reason why they're going out of the tournament. I thought they were better than Ghana for the lion's share of that game. And also, this is sort of an interesting one because we have to track the progress of these hydration breaks as they go on throughout the tournament. I thought tonight's hydration break in the second half completely altered the trajectory of the game. If you go back in the 5 minutes before that hydration break, they're piling on the pressure. I think they hit the crossbar. They had a great chance from a set piece. And then all of a sudden the hydration break happens. Croatia can go back into their huddle. They can figure things out with the manager Dalic, and then they went again. I think that was another one where this artifice of this World Cup, it was 72 degrees tonight in Toronto. There was no need for a hydration break. This artifice of this World Cup, I think, completely altered the game, and I think Panama might have been able to get one without that hydration break.
It is a great point, especially when minnow nations are basically having a moment in the game. You know you've got 45 minutes to really get after it. Momentum is huge as you're building up. You almost feel a goal is coming, and then to have that automatic stop, to Chris's point of view right there, it's huge for a team like Croatia, where they can bring their players back down to earth. They can tactically reshuffle how to stop the momentum from Panama and then go again. And I think Croatia played it perfectly. But that's what you got to do right now. I mean, we're hearing from the commentator, it's 4 quarters now that we're seeing in the game. And it is very frustrating for teams. Obviously, this was a big moment for Panama, right? The second time now they've been eliminated on match day 2. Tonight I was disappointed though. They had more shots in that second half, but again, to Chris's point of view, where's that quality coming from, right? Where's that moment coming from? Where's that goal scorer? Or even, I would go a step further and say, where's the belief? It was almost just a hope that they could actually win this game, a hope that they could get back into this game, rather than knowing, Adam, that they had the quality to be able to do so.
Yeah, withstanding and creating momentum is such a part of football. We see it all the time, and this hydration break system does artificially introduce that into the game for the team that's maybe got the momentum, or the team that's trying to chase it. You cover the CONCACAF nations a lot when you do your commentaries, Whitty. How do you think they've performed so far? We've had some who've done brilliantly. Obviously, the bigger nations, USA getting both of those wins. Canada came back, roaring back in their second game. Others have struggled, and we've had Panama eliminated. Generally, how do you think they're getting on the world stage?
I think the second tier of CONCACAF is where the growth has to occur. And I think it is interesting, those teams teams are usually Costa Rica, who got all the way to a quarterfinal in 2014. Honduras are usually in there. They have fallen off quite significantly. And so I think Jamaica as well are a team that have fairly significantly disappointed.
£2.63. That is what a lot of people spend on a coffee or a snack. It is also what AG1 costs per day. AG1 is 70 plus ingredients in one scoop. Vitamins, minerals, bacterial cultures, and whole food sourced ingredients. Buying each separately costs over £3.80 a day. AG1 gives you the same coverage, simplified in one scoop, at around 40% less. I stopped overthinking supplements. One scoop every morning, done. Try it for a month. If it doesn't work for you, you get your money back.
HBO Max on Prime Video.
Look to the sky, and we'll all become beasts at the far end.
Excuse me. Those are teams that are not at this tournament. For the teams that are at this tournament, Curacao, I think, obviously impressing by getting the point against Ecuador, but you mentioned, obviously now Panama out and Haiti are out as well, and I think they would be, think of themselves as underdogs. And Panama have only ever scored one goal at the World Cup. They couldn't add to it. The thing that would be frustrating is, again, the performances were largely good. They were largely in a good position in games to do something, to get something. I think they're ready for that next step. But now the worry for them, and we talked about this a bit off air as well, is that Panama are aging. This is an aging team. It's been the same name. You can almost close your eyes and, all right, there's Barcenas out there, and there's Fajardo up front, and you see so many of these guys, Puma Rodriguez on one side. These guys have basically been the same generation, which, to be fair, have lifted Panamanian football to an incredibly high level. They got to a Gold Cup final. They got to a Nations League final. They obviously qualify for multiple tournaments. This has been a great generation of Panamanian players, but where's the next one? It's very difficult for a nation as small as Panama to keep that level of talent coming through.
Average age 29 in this group, and there were 3 players 30 or above. Listen, Christensen's had a great run as well. Let's make no mistake about it. It was very, very good what he has done. Obviously, getting to a World Cup, you would have to say, because of the 3 host nations. That's why they're probably there, this group. But they've had an incredible run, and they deserve to have another pop at a World Cup. But again, unfortunately, they've just not been able to find a way to win games. And when you get to a FIFA World Cup, what I want to see from the CONCACAF nations is bravery. Excellent tactically, very compact, made it difficult for Croatia, but the bravery has to come, and the moment of class has to come from these nations, smaller nations. You have to have a Carrasquilla to be able to unlock defences. You have to have a Fajardo who's on form to be able to take the chances when they arise in front of goal. It didn't happen for them again, Panama. Very disappointing from them. I love what they did do, though. There was a lot of heart there, a lot of passion. You could see the passion also from the supporters, and I'm sure they're obviously very proud of their team for the effort they've put into it. But I honestly think, like Chris does, that this aging group now is somewhat going backwards, and you have to now look at another generation of players, young players coming through. Where's that next group coming through that puts Panama back on the map again? Because if it doesn't happen, this will be the last time you see Panama at a World Cup for a period.
You mentioned the age. They are the oldest tournament team at this tournament.
Are they the oldest?
The average age of the oldest. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and I think when you now look going forward, this is one of the things about the 48-team tournament that I think will look different now into the future. Is before, Panama qualifying for the World Cup was a one-off. You remember in 2018, they got there because the United States didn't.
Yes.
And they took advantage, and there was a goal that shouldn't have counted in their game. I'm not bitter about it. But there was a moment where it really felt like Panama, it was sort of a fluke. Now that 6 teams qualify, I think right now, you look at the table of CONCACAF teams, they're 4th. So it's about maintaining that project and then keeping it moving forward as well. Whereas I think if you look at some of the other teams, it's about jumping into that category. Panama are solidly in there. They perform well at Gold Cups. They perform well at Nations Leagues.
Under pressure, though, Chris, because you've got to imagine that Jamaica, teams like that, Jamaica, Costa Rica, they will not be happy that they've not been a part of this World Cup, right? No. So you will see at some point investment going into a structure to be able to either find players or develop players to then rejuvenate yourself as an association or a federation. Panama have had a great run, and it's been great to watch Christensen. I think he's in large part the reason why they got 2018, and also considered what they did do even against the United States of America in a game that you called as well, Chris, that they've had success in. They've had big games and big moments with a quality team. Where I remember one game, I think they played in San Diego. They played the US off the park in San Diego that day.
Gold Cup semi-final,
Wow, what a team. Every one of them were just, they knew their role. But yeah, I'm with Chris. I think this team's gone backwards, but it's been lovely to see them.
I suppose also they did get a fairly difficult group. You'd class this as one of the tougher groups, and I actually think the way they've played I mean, we can always say what if, can't we, when we look at the World Cup groups, but there would have been others where you'd think, okay, if they played like this, they probably would get out of it, at least as a third-place team.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think they're going into any group, no matter what group they're drawn into, as either the third or the fourth best team. The question is, when you play the other team that's maybe at your level, that's what the expanded World Cup can do. When they play Ghana come into this tournament struggling quite significantly. They come into this tournament trying to figure out their identity in their third game under a new coach. You largely play well in the game, you have to go and win it. You absolutely have to take a chance in that game. They were pushing late on in that second half. The final 15 minutes, I thought they were very good in the game. And again, it's just a shortage of quality in attacking areas. And, you know, one team has got Antoine Semenyo, and you're still trying to figure out what you're doing in attacking areas. And Carrasquilla was your man, but it can't just be reliant on one player. And there are players who are decent. There are players who've had their moments. We saw Cecilia Waterman score a goal against the United States, which knocked them out of the Nations League. They've had good moments. But when it comes down to it at World Cup level, it doesn't matter. We can expand the tournament to 64, to 128. A team like Panama is still going to have to approach a game as an underdog and take advantage of their chances. And they ultimately just didn't do it. Of course. Every tournament is a step, and we're holding up, I think we're holding them against the standard which they themselves have set.
Right.
But I still think that they need to improve when it comes to the final third in those decisive moments.
Well, they did do defensively, right? They conceded 11 goals in the last World Cup in their group stage. And, of course, now you get to this point where they're not conceding goals. But I actually remember Trinidad and Tobago 2006. I was fortunate enough to play just ahead of the World Cup, play against that Trinidad team. And they had an element of just going for it, right? They were going to go and enjoy the moment and absolutely go for it. It may work for you. It may not work for you. I think maybe Panama did that in 2018, whereas this time they tactically tried to go in to not be beaten and not be beaten badly. They gave themselves a chance, but to your point, Adam, it's a very tough group. I had them finishing bottom of this group anyway, but they were almost close to getting something from both of those games, and that's a step in the right direction.
Well, here's what our friends at SofaScore have rated the Croatia players. So the highest rating from Budimir, the goal scorer who came on as a substitute, 7.8 he got, having scored that winning goal fairly early on in the second half. Ian, how much credit does Zlatko Dalic deserve, really, for that half-time team talk? Because it was a really tight, difficult game to manage. It was almost like a game of chess, wasn't it, in the first half? And he found a way through in the second.
Yeah, listen, he's been with the national team for a long time now, and I think every single thing he says, these players listen to, and they basically abide by his ruling as to how he wants to play, how he wants to perform. If players come off, they know their role's done. If players come on, they know their role that they've got to try and get to, or the level they've got to try and get to. Again, he goes to his bench, and what a life of luxury to be able to turn to the bench and be able to bring Kramaric off the bench, and of course the goal scorer as well, Budimir. I mean, this is what Croatia have done. They have produced an amazing amount of talented players. And you've got a coach there that believes in this group, and this group believes in the coach, and magic can happen. I can't say that Croatia are the same Croatia of the past. They're not as clinical, they're not as dangerous, but they still are as talented, right? And I think that if you can get the very best out of these individuals, and as a team you can clearly see they stick together, there'll be a problem in this competition. Not many people are speaking about Croatia going far or deep in this competition. They're actually quietly going about their business in a very positive way. The England game was always going to be tough for them. This was a better defensive performance, and of course when you have as much possession of the ball as they did do against a team that sits back in a low block, you would expect that to happen. But I was waiting for these moments of magic, like where are they going to get that goal to break down that low block? And Modric was excellent once again with his passing. He always was going to keep possession of the ball. But Stanisic on that right-hand side, just waiting for that moment of magic. Budimir off the bench, scoring goals, doing what he does best. Became the oldest goal scorer in a World Cup for Croatia as well, replacing his assistant coach, Ivica Olic, who's on the bench for them. It's an amazing group, Adam. It's hard not to admire what Croatia have done. I mean, this is just spectacular to watch, and they continue to be so.
Obviously, Luka Modric is getting a lot of plaudits for his longevity. I mentioned the 200th cap there and the amount of games he's played for Croatia at World Cups. But does he have the magic in his boots that we're seeing from Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo to really have an impact, a critical impact on this team, Witty? He
does it in a different way. I think we saw really good performances from him in Serie A this season, playing for Milan, obviously until the last month of the season when it all went pear-shaped for them. But I do think that Modric still has that level of quality to dictate the game from deeper positions in midfield. You're not going to see it reflected in the score sheet because he's not a goal scorer. He can't provide an assist. He can't provide a goal. He chips in, though, for the most part. It is about trying to find wingers and fullbacks in good positions, and I think that is generally what he does. The one thing, though, I think with this Croatia side that does leave me feeling a little bit cold is I do think they're still trying to figure things out in the attack.
Yeah.
I don't think they have a sense of who their number 9 is. They started with Musa. When he scores, he continues to play. When he doesn't score, he gets yanked off at halftime. They yanked Gvardiol off at halftime as well, which I thought was strange.
I thought it was a smart move, though.
Right, it was a smart
with
move.
two strikers coming on, right?
Sure, but I think it shows. I mean, Gvardiol is probably currently their best player.
But if you've got Stanisic on the right-hand side and Gvardiol's not having as much luck, because Stanisic was having a lot of luck going against Blackman, right? We talked about that at half-time. That's the side you've got to keep going at. There's a weakness there on that Panama left side, so you've got to absolutely attack that best you can. So it made sense to me to take Gvardiol off. Normally an attack-minded player too, but Stanisic was having such a fine game. I think he was the one they were relying on. Leave two centre-backs, let Stanisic go, and therefore you're going to have an extra player in the attack.
Been my job.
Yeah, Lorraine, it's been absolutely wonderful to have you with us. Thank you so much, and enjoy the game as much as is possible. Thank you so much. Brilliant. That's Lorraine Kelly, live on 5 Live. Pat Nevin's in Miami, full commentary on the way at 11 p.m. once we are done in Vancouver. Vicky.
Thank you very much, Steve. Just back underway here. Switzerland 0, Canada 0, and we can't wait for it either. Dion and I are going to be going from the stadium here in BC Place with producer Rob and finding somewhere to watch the game and try and get the 5 Live commentary, of course, out here in Canada. Can Scotland do it? Can they reach the knockout stages of a World Cup for the in possession? They're still coming back to their seats after the break. But Switzerland haven't waited for Canada to show up at the start of this second half. They've come forward, Vargas in space, inside the box, in off the post. And as it stands, it's now Switzerland winning the group ahead of Canada. Switzerland 1, Canada 0.
Yeah, that's an awful start for Canada, I've got to say. I mean, they've just started so quick, Switzerland. They went down the right-hand side. They were literally 10 yards inside the Canadian half. They just rolled the ball in behind the back 4 of Canada, and he went all the way through. I mean, all the defenders of Canada have got sucked under the ball. I've no idea where the right back has gone. He's literally left Vargas at the far post. He has time to take a touch and smash it in the corner. Terrible defending, no communication. What a start by Switzerland.
It is second goal of the tournament. Ruben Vargas came off the bench and made a real impact against Bosnia and Herzegovina. Scored, got an assist, earned himself a start today. Now he scores in back-to-back games at this World Cup. And the cameras and our ears have found the Switzerland fans. I still can't see where they are in the stadium because it's just a wall of red. Everybody wearing red, both Switzerland and Canadian fans. But they are the ones lifting their voices here in BC Place in Vancouver. As Canada in possession. We'll take you through the 2 lineups in a moment. No changes at half-time. But as we say, both of these sides effectively through to the knockout stages already. But this is about winning the group, as Canada won't keep possession in. And crucially, on paper, it gives you a better draw. You get a 3rd place side rather than the runner-up from Group A. And for Canada, it would keep them in Canada for the start of the knockout stages. And this home support, and we've been at all of their games here on 5 Live. Dean, you've done 2. I've done all of them. Started in Toronto with David Edgar while you were in New York with Ian Dennis. It's so clear what an impact this home support has had on Canada. And also, as Canada have possession midway inside their own half, this isn't just about this World Cup. Of course, it's the most important thing, but they want to change the face of football in Canada, and to be in the country doing that obviously helps generate that momentum.
Yeah, it does. It really does. They are proper football fans here in Vancouver. Everywhere you go, there's football on the TVs, and they're loving the competition, but they want it to be something that stays. They want the excitement to stay with the game as well. There's football camps all over the country. They're really giving it a go, and you can tell by the quality of their side.
So, Diffuser will clear away for Canada. Switzerland 1, Canada 0. Switzerland have Kobel in goal. The back 4 of Jaquez, Elvedi, Akanji and Rodriguez. Ahead of them, So, Freuler and Xhaka, with Manzambi, Mbolo and Vargas. Vargas, who's got that early goal, up top. as Switzerland throw the ball towards the Canadian penalty area. It's cleared away by Canada, but Xhaka will pick it up, the Sunderland and Swiss captain, out to the right-hand side, and Remo Freuler, the former Nottingham Forest man, will steer it back to Nico Elvedi. Switzerland's all in red, Canada in their changed white strip. Switzerland attacking from right to left in this second half here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as they pick it up over on the far side. Once more, and in field now to Granit Xhaka, just inside the centre circle, plays the long ball over the top, and Bolo trying to chest it down. Canada struggling to clear, and Bolo can't get the shot away. Here's Vargas, the goal scorer, will play it back to the left back, Ricardo Rodriguez, who's got forward midway through the Canadian half and out to the left-hand side, and Ruben Vargas once again in field he goes. Nice neat play from Switzerland as Manzambi goes down inside the area. He's screaming for a penalty, referee unmoved, and it's cleared over the halfway line. 5 minutes gone in this second half. Switzerland 1, Canada 0, Dion Dublin.
Yeah, just a little bit of contact there on Manzambi going into the box. Johnson stood his ground and let it filter through to his keeper. Keeper clears under no pressure at all, but it has been all Switzerland in the opening 5 minutes of this half. They've kept it well, they've moved it forward through the lines. You know what, if they can play long, they do, but if they can play through the thirds as well, they do. So they've mixed it up, Switzerland.
They played the ball out there, though, and Canada have the throw on the halfway line. Canada with Crepeau in goal, the back four of Johnston, de Fougerolles, Cornelius and Larrea. Ahead of them, Buchanan, Chouanier making his World Cup debut, Saliba and Ahmed, with record goal scorer Jonathan David and Kyle Larin of Southampton up top. No Ismail Kone. He is here despite having surgery on that broken leg, sitting in the technical area. They are also without Stefan Eustachio, their vice-captain, due to a hamstring issue. He is on the bench, but again, we think that's a bit of a mind game from Jesse Marsh. We don't expect him to feature. So big moments for Saliba and Chouanier in the centre of Canada's midfield as Switzerland, through Vargas, their goal scorer, give the free kick away on the halfway line as Jesse Marsh stands with his arms folded. Murat Yakin on the opposite technical area, just away to our left here in the gantry in BC Place in Vancouver. The Switzerland boss, his third major tournament with Switzerland. He was in charge for that penalty defeat to England in the quarterfinals at Euro 2024 as Canada try and come down the left-hand side with Larrea, but he can't keep that ball in and it goes out of play for a Switzerland goal kick. So Switzerland leading Canada by 1-0, and we are less than 2 hours away from kickoff in Miami. Scotland against Brazil. Alistair Lamont and Pat Nevin, your team on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. You can watch it as well on BBC One, and if you'd like to, you can sync up the pictures via the iPlayer with the 5 Live commentary as well. That's what Dion and I will be trying to do somewhere in Vancouver. As Canada have a throw on the far side.
Yeah, I think that do you think the Tartan Army might be a little bit noisy tonight? What do you think? They are everywhere, by the way. I mean, if you want fans to get you over the line, I mean, they're a bunch of fans that will absolutely do that.
So Canada in possession. Nice flick forward by Johnston, but it won't reach Tajon Buchanan. And Ricardo Rodriguez steers it back to Coble, who was well closed down there, but does manage to steer his clearance over the halfway line. Johnston gets the foot in for Canada, but Xhaka is there for Switzerland, and now Ricardo Rodriguez down the left-hand side to Ruben Vargas, the goal scorer, coming together with Nathan Saliba, but Switzerland will retain possession. And Ricardo Rodriguez, lovely ball out to the right-hand side. He slipped as he played it, but it was a very decent delivery. As Jaquez plays the ball into the area, and Johnston does really well with that header, knew that there were red shirts lurking behind him and managed to arc his neck and stretch and strain those neck muscles to clear it away for a throw and not a corner.
Yeah, it's sometimes when you're the last defender at the far post, you're not quite sure what's behind you. Johnston there didn't have a chance to look, and he just sort of helped it on out for a throw-in.
So Ricardo Rodriguez with that long throw launches the ball into the area, chested down calmly by Larrea. And that is a pass that just had too much on it. I was torn, Dion, whether to say lovely pass to Jonathan David or too much on it. And as soon as the ball hit the turf, it was clear which one it was going to be. Switzerland throw.
It's so sloppy, though, from Larrea. He really is the left-back. He's been a little bit hit and miss today, made a couple of silly mistakes and a couple of silly challenges. I mean, the ball there, you just got to roll your teammates 30 yards away, roll it 40 yards so he can run onto it. It's just a lapse in concentration and quality. That's when your captain should be saying, right, sharpen up.
So ball goes out of play. for a throw. Canada will have it. It's the thing, isn't it? Jonathan David, record goal scorer, taking the armband today, but Stephanie Stakio, the vice-captain, and of course Alphonso Davies, who hasn't yet played the Bayern Munich man at this World Cup because of injury, are the ones that would normally be taking the armbands as Johnston swipes the ball forward looking for Buchanan. It goes out of play for a Switzerland goal kick. But there are different styles of captaincy, I suppose, but, you know, perhaps this is seeing that it's not the regular captain, not the regular vice-captain.
Sometimes it's nice to have voices. Sometimes I remember once when I played at Aston Villa, when I went to see the manager and I said, Gaffer, listen, you know, I'm happy to be captain if you need me to be captain. He said, Dion, listen, you are the captain. You might not have the armband, but you are the captain. And we had like 5 or 6 in the dressing room with, you know, Gareth Southgate and Mercer and stuff. So you don't need the armband all the time to be the leader. And I think in that Canadian dressing room there's a lot of leaders.
Yeah, Moise Bombito would absolutely fit that description for Canada, as the ball is unfairly won over on that far side by Manzambi. Free kick to Canada. He's one who made his comeback after, again, struggling with injury so much this season. He had played for them just before the World Cup, Moise Bombito, but made his first appearance from the bench against Qatar. But that was in a game that effectively was already won by Canada at half-time. This is a very different proposition as Canada come down the left-hand side. Switzerland 1, Canada 0, 10 minutes gone in the second half. Both sides effectively already through to the knockout stages, but if Switzerland win, and they're leading here, they will win the group, and that will send Canada out of Canada as runners-up for the start of the knockout stages, and that would be a real blow to them. So no surprise that we're seeing a bit of urgency in terms of the way that Canada are moving the ball at the moment, as Derek Cornelius, the centre-half, advances halfway through the Switzerland half, out to the left-hand side. Ball is whipped into the area. Carl Larin was there and can't reach it, and I'll tell you what, that was one of those deliveries that the goalkeeper and defender were both watching Kyle Larin. Understandable, he's a big number 9 centre-forward, but from our angle, just looked as though that cross possibly might have curved at the last moment. It did go behind for a Switzerland goal kick, but got to have eyes everywhere, Dion.
Yeah, I think it was so just decided to not complicate it and just stick it in the box, you know, in swinger as well.
And Switzerland could be in here. It's Mbolo, edge of the area. Canada trying to hold him up. It's well laid off. It's Manzambi, and it squeezes under Crepo. And Switzerland have doubled their advantage. It's a poor goalkeeping error. It's more defensive questions for Canada, but it's another goal at this World Cup for this talented wonder kid, Joan Manzambi. 3 now for the tournament, at his first major tournament, and he puts Switzerland very much in command when it comes to winning the group. And Dion, I found the Swiss fans. There they are over there in that pizza slice of a stadium, jumping up and down. They're the only ones in red celebrating, because it's Switzerland 2, Canada 0.
Yeah, I don't know what the Canadian defence are doing. I really don't know. That they're just completely all over the place. The one ball again gets the big man in. He holds up. He fights off 2 defenders. They both go to him. No one's looking for Manzambi, just on the edge of the box. Surely you have one in front, one behind, so the ball can't even get to him. Very poor defending, well executed finish, hold up play, lays it into Manzambi's path, right foot finish, doesn't take a touch, goes under the keeper. I'm expecting the keeper to do better as well. Poor defensive play from Canada, potency from Switzerland.
So 2-0 to Switzerland, and well, it was not mind games from Jesse Marsh to have Eustachio on the bench, because he has come on. Canada have made a triple change. So Eustachio, who was struggling with a hamstring issue coming into this, has replaced Chouanier. Liam Miller has replaced Ali Ahmed, and Tani Oluwaseyi is on for Kyle Larin. So triple change from Jesse Marsh, and I suppose the irony is that last time out for Switzerland, they were 0-0 with Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Murat Yakin made a triple change late on, and that changed the game for Switzerland. Can this do that for Canada?
Well, they need something. They need to pick up the pace. They need to liven up defensively. They need to make sure that they're concentrating better. They need better communication so there's no gaps in between centre-half and full-backs. Play quicker football.
So, Canada, as we say, like Switzerland, effectively already through, but they want to win the group. But it's Switzerland coming forward again. Vargas, who got things underway inside the opening minute of this second half for Switzerland, is into the area, but it's cleared away. and Canada will come forward. And they win a free kick just inside the Swiss half. They take it quickly, looking for the run of one of the men who's just come on, Hull City's Liam Miller. But it's taken too quickly, says our referee in Canada. We'll have to try again from this set piece. Well, this is the biggest test for them of this World Cup so far, this history-making World Cup. They've got their first point, they've got their first victory. They are effectively through to the knockouts. But now they need to score twice to win the group ahead of Switzerland and stay in Canada for the knockouts and get an easier draw on paper. They're in possession on the halfway line. Dion Dublin.
Yeah, they really want to get the feel-good factor back. And this wouldn't be that. Yes, they probably would still qualify, but you want a better performance. You want to create more chances. You want to give those fans something to believe that they can go further in this competition. I haven't seen any of that in this game so far.
So, Canada with the throw deep in Swiss territory. Those substitutions, incidentally, were ready before that Switzerland goal. So Jesse Marsh was already going to shake things up, but now even more imperative to do so as Alistair Johnston of Celtic launches the ball long into the area, cleared away by Granit Xhaka. Canada trying to keep it alive. The header from Liam Miller got a ricochet and it will go behind for a Canada corner.
Yeah, they need to make use of everything they've got. I mean, a bit of urgency then, which is good. Sprinting over to get the ball, putting it in the corner spot, and then just getting an in-swing. Oh, they've gone short here.
They did that so often against Qatar, didn't they? It's Liam Miller of Hull City, plays the ball into the area. And the volley was met by the centre-half, Derek Cornelius. It's got a deflection. It's another corner back to Bosnia and Herzegovina against Qatar. The other game in this group, Mike Maine.
Yeah, 12 minutes gone in the second half. Bosnia still leading 2-1, but we have had the first major chance since the restart. Qatar's Akram Afif running onto a ball inside left of the penalty area, finds the side netting with his flash shot. He slams his hands together in frustration, keeps it at Bosnia 2, Qatar 1, Bosnia staying third.
Nervy moments for Switzerland from that corner, but they eventually clear. And Dion, I think we might have a grandstand half an hour on our hands here. Switzerland 2, Canada 0. Canada need a point to top the group.
Yeah, and they need to do it quickly as well. They need to get on the front foot. 61 minutes in now. This is their time. They want to get something out of this game.
And Liam Miller dispossessed over on that left-hand side, and Manzambi, who scored Switzerland's second, the sparkling youngster in this second half, down the right-hand side, and excellently dispossessed in the end from Derek Cornelius. Eustachio then came over and almost looked as though he was going to dispossess his Canadian teammate, but they've worked it to Miller on this left-hand side, infield looking for the run of Larea. It's given away. Here's Djibril Sow for Switzerland, and he very intelligently just slows the play down, moves the ball backwards, and it's all the way back with Manuel Akanji on the outside of the Switzerland penalty area. 62 minutes gone in this match. Switzerland 2, Canada 0. It's all the way back with Gregor Kobel, and now Granit Xhaka. Ooh, under pressure there from Nathan Saliba, fouled by Nathan Saliba just inside the Switzerland penalty area, and it will be a free kick to Switzerland. Dion Dublin.
Just a bit of frustration there. I mean, Xhaka's just slowing it down and just getting lots of touches and making sure that Canada don't get a groove or get into the swing of keeping the ball, and he just breaks it up. He gets a little bit of a knee in the back there, in his own box as well, just to take the pressure off his side. Very, very clever captaincy play there.
So, Switzerland in possession, just outside their own penalty area, just over an hour and a half to go until kickoff in Miami. Scotland against Brazil. We will bring every second of it here to you on 5 Live with our team, Alistair Lamont and Pat Nevin. It's on BBC One as well. If you'd like to watch via the iPlayer, you can sync up the pictures with the 5 Live commentary as Canada win the free kick on the halfway line. They take it quickly, too quickly. The referee's been quite on that, hasn't he? Not too appreciative of those quick free kicks that aren't taken from exactly the right position, so Canada have to build again.
Yeah, he's been good today, the referee, really good. He's on it. Nobody's really been giving him any problems, any back chat, any rude stuff, which is good.
So, Canada in possession. Here's Saliba trying to dink it through. Johnston did really well to try and control that with his head, but eventually forced out of the penalty area, and then Switzerland draw the foul. That's good centre-forward play there by Brelin Bolo. He's inside his own half, but knew exactly what he was doing there. Draw the foul. And Switzerland, who lead by 2-0, will have the free kick, Dion Dublin.
Yeah, again, Xhaka standing over the ball, dead balls, just making sure that his team are all in the right position before he lets the play go again. And
too much on that ball from Jaquez for Brelembolo. It goes behind for a goal kick to Canada, which Crepeau will get moving quickly. Switzerland, though, in control of this game, in control of the group. It would actually be the only second time that they've won their World Cup group. Their last came in 2006, but as we say, previous to this tournament, they've reached the knockout stages of the last 6 major tournaments, 3 World Cups, 3 Euros. The only other European side to do that, in fact, is France, which just shows what an achievement that is. As Canada come forward, a little push there, possibly, but nothing doing eventually. And Canada wanted something there as Oluwaseyi went down, but not much in it, and it will be a goal kick once more to Switzerland. As we say, both sides are effectively through to the knockout stages, but this is about who wins the group. This is about who gets to play a third-place team in the last 32, and this is about who gets to stay in Canada at the start of the knockout stages. All of that goes to the group winners, and at the moment that's going to be Switzerland and not Canada. Unless Canada can score twice and draw this game, a point is enough for them to win the group. As Switzerland have a player down, it's Manzambi over on the far side. They're saying put the ball out of play. Canada, I think internally, are saying, well, that's the referee's decision. All of Switzerland's players are backing away in shape, protesting. Eventually, Eustachio does put the ball out of play. Manzambi is still down over on the far side of the pitch with his shirt rolled up and his left arm over his face. Well, should they have put it out? Did they need to put it out? Are they being sporting, or
just
does
getting
the
a
referee
replay
need
here.
to decide?
I don't know what he's gone down with or down for. I don't. The issue is, as a player, if you have hurt yourself, it's very rare that you are moving about and rolling about and holding your leg, then holding your head, then holding your shin. Which one is it? He's up on his feet. There's nothing wrong with him at all. That's just poor play for me. That's cheating. That's cheating to me. Get up on your feet and get on with it. It doesn't need any treatment at all. I wouldn't have put the ball out. Absolutely no chance.
And Jesse Marsh is absolutely furious down on the technical area. The Canada manager, former Leeds United boss, screaming at the fourth official. And I think it's fair to say, Dion, Canada will not be putting the ball out of play again if Switzerland have a player that goes down. So, Diffusion in possession for Canada out to the right-hand side. Switzerland leading by 2-0, approaching the midway point of this second half as Jonathan David, Canada's record goal scorer, steers it back to Eustachio, shaken off that hamstring issue, has made an appearance from the bench to try and give Canada that extra bite, that extra quality in central midfield as he plays the ball into the area. Oh, it's a nicely cushioned header from Jonathan David, but couldn't find his teammate Oluwaseyi as Canada come forward once again down the left-hand side. They need 2 goals to haul themselves back level and top the group as Liam Miller comes down the left-hand side, plays the ball into the area. It's Jonathan David on the angle, brilliant block. That is superb defending by Nico Elvedi, who celebrates as though he scored a goal, and Switzerland telling their players to switch on because Canada have taken the corner quickly, and the referee saying that he's not happy with that. And I'm not really sure why, because Canada have been doing this all second half. As we say, Dion, you and I saw them do this here in the stadium against Qatar. It is a weapon for them, but this time they're going to have to send it in long because they were ordered to retake it. So Eustachio on the pitch, set-piece specialist, on corner duties. Corner from the far side, it's swung in deep, big punch by Coble, and will be collected by Nathan Saliba for Canada. Keeps it alive, steers it back to Richie Laraya. Right hand side, now to Saliba, fires it off Ricardo Rodriguez. Canada throw, deep in Switzerland territory. They're preparing another double substitution, Canada, so they're going to roll all the dice that they've got, having already made a triple sub. We're not, thank goodness, stopping for the drinks break yet, so it's not going to break up the momentum of this move. As Canada launch the throw in long, it's Johnston. It's cleared away out of the area by Switzerland, flicked back towards the box by Saliba. Eustachio scoops it in, Cornelius is up there, it misses him. Johnston will play it behind a Vargas. for a Canada corner. They are really pushing to get back into this game. Switzerland 2, Canada 0 here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
Absolutely wanting to play another short one, but Stacchio there just saying, no, leave it alone. Let's get it into the dangerous area, get our players in the box, and let's cause some havoc. Outswinger this time. Zonal marking from Switzerland.
So, Eustachio near side this time with the corner. Right arm raised aloft. Swings the ball in right-footed. Cleared away by Mamel Akanji for Switzerland. And collected once more by Richie Larea, who fizzes it out. Right-hand side, Eustachio chops in field nicely. Plays the ball forward and can't find a teammate inside the area. It was Tajon Buchanan making the run. And the ball goes out of play for a Canadian throw. And it's taken quickly by Buchanan to Eustachio. Now Buchanan swings the ball in, cleared away once more by Elvedi. And Liam Miller will pick it up in the centre circle for Canada, who trail by 2-0. That will see them through as runners-up. It will move them out of Canada for the knockout stages. And that is what is so crucial, as well as having to play the runners-up in Group A compared to a third-place finishing team if they win the group. And as Canada come forward once again, that's just about kept in by Liam Miller of Hull over on that left-hand side. And Richie Larea has it once more. Slow, patient build-up from Canada as we enter the final 20 minutes here in Vancouver, as Johnston does well, takes it on his chest, then goes down, and he's caught Ricardo Rodriguez there, so it's going to be a free kick to Switzerland inside their own penalty area when we restart after a hydration break that is even less welcomed by the home fans, because Canada are in the ascendancy at the moment, and we've seen so many times, haven't we, Dion, how momentum can shift after one of these drinks breaks.
Yeah, this will be an interesting break, this one. I mean, Jesse Marsh there is going to have to earn his money to get his team back into this one. They just need a bit of a lift. They need maybe a change of tactic and a change of energy. Switzerland have defended so well in that last 10-12 minutes. Lots of crosses coming in the box. 2 centre-halves, Elvedi and Akanji, just heading everything away and marshalling all the defence that needs to be done. Canada needs something special.
So all of Canada's players once again are coming into their huddle. I think the only exception, I'm trying to see if I can see him down there, Ismail Kone on crutches with his broken leg, I think has stayed on the bench in the technical area. But Jesse Marsh is given the instructions. Let's get an update from the game going on in this group in Seattle, Bosnia and Herzegovina against Qatar. Mike Mine.
Yeah, still 2-1 Bosnia in third place as it stands. They lead through 2 first-half goals. Only chance we've had in the second half was a Fief flashing into the side netting. That's given Qatar some confidence as the hydration break is now called. Bosnia made 4 changes as a result, trying to get some new energy in their lacklustre side. They brought off 40-year-old Edin Dzeko. By the way, Dion, from what was said earlier about old legs, your final season as a 39-year-old at Norwich, you scored as many goals for the Canaries as 23-year-old Edin Dzeko did for Wolfsburg, 9 goals each.
What a stat that is, Mike. I mean, he's pulled that out of the bag there, Dion. So, here at the drinks break, it's Switzerland leading Canada by 2-0, but we are getting ever closer to Scotland against Brazil here on 5 Live. Let's head to Miami and Jane Lewis.
Yeah, I'm sitting here at pitch side at the Miami Stadium. I can tell you it's filling up very, very nicely indeed. A lovely splattering of that famous Brazilian yellow jersey wearing that the fans are wearing, and of course I'll look behind me. Plenty of yellow as well in the so-called Scotland section, but there's plenty of Scotland fans here too. As we've seen in this World Cup, it looks like there's going to be a little bit of mixing between the fans here. It's all been good-natured so far, so I'm sure that will continue. But I can tell you right down here, level at pitch side, it is so warm. We had really bad thunderstorms maybe about a couple of hours ago here, and it really has not cleared the air. Thankfully, when I look up above me, it's blue skies, not many clouds in the sky, so it looks like that rain's going to stay away. But my goodness, it is so humid out there. The players will most definitely feel it when they come out for the warm-up, and of course when the pitch starts, when the game starts as well. But yeah, the Scotland players have been out having a quick look. They're now back in their dressing room, and this one, well, it's not too long before we get underway, and it is a massive one for both games. Can't wait for it.
Thank you so much, Jane. Neither can we. Dion and I are going to be straight out of the stadium here in Vancouver, finding somewhere to watch it, and of course trying to get 5 Live on our phones here in Canada as well. Let's head for a quick update from the Women's T20 World Cup. England against the West Indies. Jeff Lemon.
Yes, drinks breaks at the football, drinks breaks at the cricket. We've just finished a drinks break here as well at a very, very hot day in London. England have just about locked up their semi-final spot. West Indies would need 97 runs off the last 6 overs. Unlikely to happen. They're only 4 wickets down, but just haven't been able to get going. England have been all over them tonight after scoring 186 earlier today. So 187 the chase. Was always going to be a tall order, and West Indies 91 for 4 as we get going into the last 6 overs.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Commentary continues over on 5 Sports Extra. So we are back underway here. Switzerland in possession, leading by 2-0. 3 changes have been made, 2 for Switzerland, 1 for Canada, who had been preparing to make a double change, but they've kept their powder dry on Jonathan Osorio. So Promise David is on for Tajon Buchanan, and the double change for Switzerland, Luca Hackes replaced by Sylvain Widmer, and Djibril Sow is off. Michel Abisher is on. So fresh legs for both sides. Switzerland with victory will top the group. Canada need a point to now re-knock them off top spot. As we say, both sides effectively already through to the knockout stages. Canada for the very first time in their history, but desperate to get the victory that will see them stay in Canada for the start of those knockout stages, as Nathan Saliba does really well, plays the ball forward. What an impact! Well, that is the definition of a substitute who has done exactly what his manager wanted. Promise David off the bench to get Canada back into this game. Super work down the right-hand side, and Promise David ghosted into the area, controlled the first-time shot beautifully, and makes it Switzerland 2, Canada 1.
I mean, if you're gonna make an effect on a game, that's what you have to do. You come on, you find your position, and you wait for the ball to come to you. When you do get that chance, take it. I mean, Promise there, I've got to say, it's a very difficult finish in the middle of the goal. The ball's flashing across the box. He has to dive with the outside of his right boot. It's a brilliant finish. It's a great start, I hate to say it, to the 4th quarter.
Boo! Boo to you, Dion Dublin. But listen to Vancouver. They are roaring for Canada. And as Dion says, the finish was exquisite. And it's announced again inside the stadium. And listen to the noise. And Canada are swarming forward, the white shirts down the right-hand side. A little tangling on the byline, a little coming together. It's going to be a Canada corner over on the far side. But Promise David, take a bow. Must have been his first touch after coming on. And the way that he has controlled that as the ball skips up off the turf from Saliba's delivery. As you say, Dion, outside of the boot, because it's almost past him, isn't it? And he just sticks it out. He manages to guide that half volley into the net. It's gorgeous. Canada with the corner. Canada with the belief. Swung into the near post, it's cleared away by Joan Manzambi, and listen to Vancouver deflate.
I mean, the noise when that ball went, it was just absolutely fantastic. That's what they needed. Switzerland had just got caught off guard there, out of position their centre halves were, and they got punished there for a little bit of lapse in concentration. I mean, Promise David there, that's one of the best finishes he will ever, or one of the best goals, should I say, he'll ever score.
So, Canada with the set piece. As the attendance is announced here, 52,500 almost. It's a sellout again. As Canada prepare to take this free kick, we will be heading to Miami very, very shortly ahead of Scotland's game against Brazil. But Canada with the chance from this set piece, wide right position, to level up this game against Switzerland, to make it to 2-2 and to move back top of the group. Eustachio stands over it, his right arm in the air. Liam Miller of Hull City is there as well. And the white shirts of Canada in their change kit are lined up on the edge of the penalty area. It will be Eustachio. It's a good delivery, and what a chance for Derek Cornelius. The centre half heads wide from 6 yards out. Still Switzerland 2, Canada 1. Let's get the team news. Scotland against Brazil. Jane Lewis.
Let me give you the headlines. Steve Clarke making 4 changes from the starting lineup that faced Morocco last time out. In come McKenna, Ben Gannon-Doak and Kenny McLean, and Lawrence Shanklin will be the lone figure up front. Out go Hendry, Christie, Tierney and Adams. As for Brazil, only 1 change from the team that started against Haiti as expected. Bournemouth's Ryan comes in for the injuries. Rafinha, Neymar starts on the bench for this one.
Thank you very much, Jane. Kick-off fast approaching, 11 o'clock UK time. 5 Live, BBC Sounds, BBC One. Your place to be tonight for Scotland against Brazil, as Scotland look to seal qualification for the knockout stages of a World Cup for the very first time. Here, we've got a cracking finish in Vancouver. Switzerland 2, Canada 1. Both sides effectively through to the knockouts, but this is about who wins the group. If Canada get another goal, it'll be they who move back to the top of the standings. Switzerland have made a change. Ruben Vargas, who scored Switzerland's opener inside the opening minute of this second half, has been replaced by Nottingham Forest's Dan Ndoye. Dion Dublin, it's getting very spicy.
It is getting spicy because Canada have come to play. They've decided to pass the ball quick, and they've decided to get closer to the Switzerland players and put them under pressure. And they've just given a free kick away there right in front of Jesse Marcy's dugout. Switzerland have a free kick, but it's better harassing, better closing down from Canada. There's a little bit of belief now. They've not had that all game, I don't think.
Yes, and Ndoye's first action after coming off the bench is to win that free kick for Switzerland as Manuel Akanji sends the ball forward. It's headed away by Alistair Johnston. Out of play for a Switzerland throw. But it is great to see, isn't it, Dion, from a neutral perspective. You know, as we keep saying, both sides effectively through to the knockouts. Yes, they want to win the group. Gives on paper an easier draw. For Canada, it's really important. But both sides have given it absolutely everything in this game. And we've been treated to a really good match as Canada win a throw deep inside their own territory.
It's been you know, listen, it was 0-0 for a very, very long time, and I was happy with the game, and I was happy with the way that the game was played and the application of the players and the quality. Just couldn't break the deadlock either side, but now we've got a couple of goals. Now Switzerland have got something in their palm. Can they keep hold of it? We'll see.
Can Abisha keep hold of it for Switzerland? Down by the corner flag on that far side. Did well, but eventually nutmegged Derek Cornelius, but couldn't take the ball with him. Out of play for a Canada goal kick. Canada, who have been in very good form coming into this tournament in terms of not losing games. Unbeaten in their last 10 since a 1-0 defeat to Australia back in October. But this is the stiffest test they faced at this World Cup. Switzerland, the top-ranked side in the group. Switzerland, who have probably put in their best performance of the tournament so far as the ball is all the way through with Crepo. Yes, they had loads of chances against Qatar, but couldn't take them and conceded that late equaliser. Took them until the 74th minute to find the breakthrough against Bosnia and Herzegovina. Ended up winning 4-1 with Bosnia down to 10. But this has been a better performance as the ball bounces off the back of Diffuserol, but he's deemed to have fouled Mbolo. He had no idea where the ball had gone, Diffuserol, but the whistle's gone. Switzerland have the free kick midway through the Canadian half. And are we going to see Switzerland, Dion, just start to slow the play down a little bit? As we see a replay of that, there was a little shove in the back from Diffuserol and Mbolo.
Yeah, just gone a little bit too close there, the centre half. Diffuserol. Mbolo waited, looked over his shoulder, waited and waited for the contact and just went down. Another change for Canada as well.
Yeah, interesting this one, because Jacob Schaffelberg, who has impressed off the bench in this tournament, has come on, and Richie Laraya has gone off. But that wasn't the change that they were going to make earlier. It was going to be Jonathan Osorio when they were going to make that double change.
Okay.
Then they had the drinks break. Then he changed his mind, Jesse Marsh, and just put on Promise David. Then Promise David scored seconds after coming on. So again, it's just another interesting little element of these drinks breaks. You know, many managers have talked about how tactical they are, and clearly Jesse Marsh in that moment had a bit of a rethink. And let's see if Schaffelberg comes on and does something in terms of helping Canada get an equaliser that would take them back top of the group.
Yeah, and that's the plan at this stage of the game. As a manager, I've never been a manager, but I would think the players that come on have to make a difference.
But here comes Switzerland though, and Crepo spilled it and is lucky to gather at the second attempt with Mbolo. In close attendance, goal between Bosnia and Qatar, Mike Maine.
That'll do it for Bosnia, looking to seal third place in the group. They have a third, 2-goal cushion again between them and Qatar. It's the substitute Ermin Marmic who's got the goal. Failed to deal completely with a corner, Qatar. It kept coming in, kept ricocheting around. Eventually, Marmic got the crucial final powerful shot, and it's Bosnia 3, Qatar 1.
Thanks very much, Mike. So here, Switzerland are preparing to make a double change, and Johan Manzambi is one of the players going to be making way for Christian Fasnacht. The other player coming on, Cedric Itten, will replace Brel and Bolo. So just a word on Johan Manzambi. Dion, he's scored again. He's 20 years old. That's 3 goals now for this World Cup. What a talent he is.
He looks sharp. He really does. He just gets the ball at every opportunity and wants to take players on. He's actually let the ball go past him a few times into his strike partner, and he's spun round and got it in that number 10 role. Always looking to help his teammate out. What a talent he's got, and what a future.
So ball inside the penalty area. Canada trying to make something of it. Schaffelberg will pick it up left-hand side, swings it back in. It's cleared away by Switzerland towards the halfway line, where Cedric Itten, the striker who's just come on, will try and put the pressure on, and the ball goes out of play for a Switzerland throw. He's got 16 goals a season for Fortuna Dusseldorf, relegated to the German 3rd tier, so not playing at the top level, Cedric Itten, but he was their top scorer this season, former Rangers player as well. And Christian Fasnacht, another attacker who's come on, is the top scorer in the Swiss top flight this season. In fact, 18 goals for young boys, 19 in all competitions, and he supplies trade with Norwich City. So, something a little different attacking-wise for the Canadian back line to think about as the ball is all the way back with Gregor Kobel, and we have 4 minutes plus added time to play. Switzerland 2, Canada 1. Canada need a leveller to win the group, as Fasnacht's done really well there, shrugging off to Fougerolles, forced wide out to the right-hand side as Switzerland look for the goal that would surely seal the 3 points and seal top spot in Group B. Here is Freuler. And now we just see that patience, that game management as they work it all the way back to their goalkeeper, Gregor Kobel.
Yeah, and this is the way that you whatever you've got in the palm of your hand, whether it's a point or 3 points, this is how you manage it. It's all down to Granit Xhaka slowing it down a little bit.
Canada have stolen it though. It bounces off their goal scorer, Promise David, but stolen back by Saliba, who's had a good game. Here's Liam Miller of Hull City down the right-hand side. Couple of step-overs and then almost lost his way. He did keep it in though, and he's going to keep it in. Is he down by the byline? Headed behind by Akanji, and the assistant said yes, that ball was kept in. And it will be a corner, but of course this is something that VAR can check very quickly, so they can have a look and see if this corner is wrongly awarded, although Canada might want to take it short. No intervention we're seeing here, so looks as though he did keep it in. Looks as though it is a Canada corner and a chance for a late equaliser that could see them top the group. It's Eustachio, headed away by Switzerland out of the penalty area, and they'll try and counter now, and Doy there was clearly pulled back, and that is the definition of taking one for the team for Liam Miller, and it's a Switzerland free kick. It stops the counter from Dan and Doy, and Miller goes into the book for Canada. I say it's definition of taking one for the team, but what it does allow as well, yes, it stops the counter, but now Switzerland have the set piece, and
yeah, and they slow it down. Exactly, yeah, which is, I don't think that was the best free kick to make. He had 2 players goal side, 2 defenders goal side of the ball, and I don't think they had any danger at all. So I'm thinking to myself, why would you do that? Why would you take a yellow?
Yeah, almost back yourself in that situation.
Correct,
but
yeah.
maybe it's that instinct of, oh no, someone's running,
Yeah,
and I've got to do it, rather than thinking about the context of the game. His tackles are going flying in now. It's the 2 number 11s, Liam Miller and Dan and Doy. And the free kick goes the way of Canada, just inside their own half. Canada, who've got themselves back into this game. Both sides already effectively through to the knockout stages. But this is about winning the group. At the moment, Switzerland, with victory, will do that. Canada need to find an equaliser, and then it will be they going through as group winners, staying in Canada and playing a 3rd place side rather than the runners-up of Group A. But that's a poor ball over the head of Liam Miller from Nathan Saliba. And again, you can feel BC Place here in Vancouver deflate.
Yeah, a little bit sloppy there from Saliba. I like him, actually. He's a very good footballer, Saliba. Tidy on the ball, he's playing a few balls around the corner. He looks over his shoulder, he checks his shoulders. He's a very, very technical, gifted footballer. I mean, there was a poor pass to Liam Miller, but apart from that, he's done everything right today.
Canada had possession back though. Here's Johnston just inside his own half. Diffuser roll. Neatly done by the Fulham man. He was then challenged well by Arbisher. Rodriguez will clear away and Arbisher has it. And here is Itten, well intercepted by Eustachio, who's made a difference since coming on, playing despite this hamstring issue. And then Jonathan Davids wins the free kick just inside the Switzerland half. And Maxime Crepeau, well, he's ambling towards the centre circle. I mean, we're not in added time yet, so I don't think it's quite time for the keeper to get in the penalty area, but we're not far off, are we, Dion?
No, a minute or so, I would imagine. This is going right into the mixer, as we like to call it, in the heart of the defence, and the attackers, red and white shirts, will be battling for this first ball and the second ball.
So Eustachio stands over the set piece for Canada, just inside the Switzerland half, drifts it out to the left-hand side. It's headed on but cleared away by Nico Elvedi from Cornelius's header. Goes out of play and Schaffelberg will be there to take the throw. Thought about going back to Eustachio on the halfway line, but instead now goes forward looking for Jonathan David. He plays it back, looking for Oliver Shea. Schaffelberg, now Jonathan David once again. Ball is blocked, will fall for Freuler inside the area, but Canada pick it up once more, but David and Oliver Shea between them can't work a shooting chance. Goes out of play for another Canada throw. Relentless Canadian pressure as we approach added time. The fourth official has the board up, and there are going to be 6 minutes of added time. 6 minutes for Canada to find an equaliser and go through as group winners. 6 minutes for Switzerland to hold on, and they will top the group as this throw is launched long into the penalty area, cleared away by Elvedi. Comes out to the left-hand side once again, and Canada will send it in once more, and Promise David was there, and so was Cornelius, and neither of them can make decisive contact at the far post, and the ball is behind for a Switzerland goal kick, and it's still Switzerland 2, Canada 1.
Yeah, they seem to get in each other's way there, Promise David. Cornelius was behind Davis there, the big centre-half was wanting to get on this. You've got to say to your teammate, shout your name as loud as possible. Cornelius, I'm there, and they got mixed up, they got in each other's way. That's a really good chance. 3 yards out on the far post.
Long forward from Switzerland. Canada clear. Forward once more by the Swiss. Again, Canada clear through Johnston. Miller trying to keep it in, but can't do so. And Granit Xhaka will shepherd it out for Switzerland as Jesse Marsch is out of his technical area, roaring, clapping his hands together. Come on, he's screaming. Murat Yakin there as well with a water bottle waving in his left hand. The Switzerland manager gesturing his players forward. Canada have won possession. They don't win the free kick though. Yes, they do. I know it's been given as the throw, and again the referee isn't happy about where that's been taken. That was all a little bit scrappy. So, well, what has he given in the end? I don't think the Canadian players know defeat. Right, it is a free kick to Canada.
Oh, is it?
No, it's not. It's a throw. It's a throw to Canada. There we go. We got there in the end. Diffuser had both his arms spread out saying, look, what's going on here? Either way, the decision is Canada's. Up to the halfway line. Oliver Shea trying to get on the end of it, and he gets the better of Vidmar, and Vidmar goes sliding in and doesn't make the challenge, and Oliver Shea plays the ball early, and Akanji clears away. It's out for a throw. He's just rushed it there, Oliver Shea. He saw the white shirt streaming forward, but he couldn't pick the pass.
I think he's done right. I think he's tried to play the right pass. He played it too close to Akanji. He had to play it into an area where his centre forward was coming onto. Sometimes you play it to your teammate. This time he had to play it for his teammate. In front, we've got a long throw. Long throw for Canada, far left-hand side.
And Johnston of Celtic is going to take it. Launches it in after whipping up the crowd, and it's flicked towards goal, and it's claimed by Coble. And it was Promise David there again. He met it with his head, and Coble's there to gather.
Yeah, the key is when you've got a long throw, the key is to try and get the first touch, and then it causes absolute havoc. And then you've got to trust your teammates to get on the seconds. Got the first touch that time, Promise David, but he heads it towards goal, but no power.
3 minutes of added time to play. Both sides effectively through already, but Canada trying to equalise and win the group. Switzerland coming down the right-hand side. Here is Cedric Itten, their tall, blonde striker. Plays the ball into the area. It's cleared away by Alistair Johnston. Granit Xhaka using his body to get the better of Jonathan David there. And Akanji will send it forward from the centre circle out to the left-hand side, but he's asked too much of Dan Ndoye. He then tumbled under pressure from Johnston, and he's waved up by the referee. He then wags a finger and Ndoye at the referee. Got away with that one. No way he was getting that ball anyway, as Switzerland make the interception and Canada take the throw quickly. Down the right-hand side, it's Jonathan David and now Eustachio, ball into the area, and it's sliced away by Switzerland, and Akanji won't keep it out. Won't keep it in, I should say. It's going to be another throw to Canada.
Yeah, I think Jesse Marsh might have got an assist there. He got the ball back to his right back very, very quickly, and he threw into a dangerous area. We've now got a long throw on the right-hand side, 20 yards from Canada's technical area. It's going to be a long one again from Johnston.
2 minutes of added time to play. Johnston with the throw, launches it to the near post. Switzerland make first and second contact, second through Ndoye. Miller picks it up for Canada. Johnston to send it in again, and Cobal's going to watch it and claim it from just underneath that angle of far post and bar. And he thought about launching it, but he was teasing us all, Gregor Kobel. But he has rolled it out slightly more quickly than I would have expected. Switzerland just need to hold on here to this 2-1 lead, and they're going to win the group. As Ndoye, trying to shepherd possession, does so really well, goes out of play for a Switzerland throw, and Canada have got 90 seconds to find a leveller, and Jesse Marsh knows it. He's out on the edge of his technical area. He is going through the ringer once again, the former Leeds United boss.
He's all over the place. I think he's playing ball boy at the moment to make sure that Switzerland get this ball back quickly.
If he could be on the pitch, he would. Jesse Marsh, as Itten goes down under pressure from Defougerol. No free kick given, and Defougerol will play it forward now. Here's Nathan Saliba. One last chance perhaps for Canada. They switch the play out to the left-hand side. It's Liam Miller taking on Vidmer. Fasnacht's there as well. It's pulled back as Canada try and work it once more. Ball into the area, and the header towards goal is saved by Gregor Kobel. It was Johnston getting forward from right back. He timed his run, he found the space, but could only send the header straight at Kobel. What a chance that was for Canada. They've won it back though. Outside the Swiss penalty area, Eustachio out of play. Canada throw, 30 seconds to go. Canada need a leveller to win the group.
Another long throw. They need the first contact, Canada. Listen to the noise now.
Johnston to launch it in. Everybody back there for Switzerland. They get first contact. Forward once more by Schaffelberg. It's bouncing around in the area. Hook towards goal. Oh, Promise David. And Kobel almost spilled it. And in the end, he's gathered, and the referee is in there. And I think the goalkeeper, under pressure from Derek Cornelius, might have been hurt there. Play has stopped. Jesse Marsh is applauding. But Canada's chance is gone. And Canada's chance in this game might be gone. We played the 6 minutes of added time. Kobel is down and hurt. That was brave goalkeeping. Initially, he spilled it. Cornelius has got a right to go there, but he does manage to get both hands on it before Cornelius gets that foot in. It's going to be a free kick to Switzerland, and surely now it is going to be all 3 points. Yes, it is. That's it. No time to restart. Some boos around the stadium in Vancouver just for the ending to that game, but now they turn to cheers because Switzerland and Canada will be effectively in the knockout stages. Switzerland for certain, Canada effectively are there anyway, so that is history for them, but it's Switzerland who will top the group and Canada will go through as runners-up.
I think it's been a great game. I really do. Switzerland have been brilliant. Canada have been brilliant. I mean, for the last 20 minutes, Canada have just pushed and pushed and pushed. Everything's gone into the box. Promise David coming off the bench and getting himself a goal. Nearly nicked an equaliser as well. Really good advert for the World Cup this game. Lots of positivity, lots of good players on show. Different kinds of players applying their trade at the highest level, giving the fans something to cheer about. It's been a good game. And I think the result is just about fair.
And there we go. There is confirmation with the scoreline as it is, Bosnia and Herzegovina. They were never going to overhaul Canada. So there you go. It is confirmed. Switzerland and Canada both through to the knockout stages. Switzerland as group winners, Canada as runners-up, and that is more history for Canada, confirming what we all knew coming into this game would happen, but they are through to the knockout stages of a World Cup for the very first time in their history. It's not as winners. They are going to have to move out of Canada for the start of those knockout stages, which is a blow to them. They have lost here by 2-1 to Switzerland, but both sides will be in the round of 32. Mark Chapman.
Vicky Dion, yes they are. So Canada will go to LA, and that last 32 match is the first match of the last 32, and they are likely to play South Korea in LA on June the 28th. So what's that? That's Sunday. It means that Switzerland go into the other side of the draw now, and they will play on July the 2nd in Vancouver. And at the moment, and obviously there's still a lot to be decided, but they'll get a third place team. At the moment, that could be either Algeria, Egypt or Iran. So Switzerland against Algeria, Egypt or Iran in Vancouver on July the 2nd. The second half was a really good second half, Dion.
It was a good game, Chappers. I mean, the first half was good as well. I thought Switzerland played some really good stuff and Canada just couldn't get going. But what I liked about this game in particular was they were both actually going to win the game. Nobody sat in at all. I mean, the composure and the captaincy, the leadership of Granit Xhaka was there to see. He just slowed it down when he needed to. He picked it up when he needed to. But Canada on the break, Chappers, are very, very dangerous. They've got a very strong bench. And another 5-10 minutes, they probably would have got that equaliser. Left it too late. I think the result was about right. But yeah, Canada have got a lot to offer.
Bosnia have beaten Qatar, so you would expect them to be going through as a third place side as well. And I'm following the bracket on the Athletic, which has percentages of where teams will end up if they finish third. I don't know if you're doing this as well, Mike Mine, because it is quite convoluted. I have that they are, well, when I say I have, I'm going to pass blame on to the Athletic. They have Bosnia-Herzegovina going to take on the US in San Francisco, which will be on July the 1st.
Yeah, well, we can pass the blame to the Athletic because the BBC Sport website is saying the same thing. So we can agree on that. Bosnia 3, Qatar 1. Bosnia set for the knockouts then for the first time in their history. The players really emotional at full time. Some of them collapsing to the floor, others going to hug one another. Looked like there was some players in tears as well. Historic day for them. The first half key, dominant. Ali Begovic scoring powerfully from range. Dzeko's cushion volley deflecting off Sultan Al break for their second. Al-Haydof's got one back for Qatar before the break, but it was sealed when substitute Memic capitalised on a complete failure to clear the ball from Qatar on a corner. Ton of complete failures. Julian Lopetegui's deodorant, his beige shirt, is soaked in darker circles of sweat, and he'll be under pressure as well, the Qatar manager. They sacked their last coach after the 2022 World Cup for failing to win a game. Same story 4 years on for him, but it's Edin Dzeko hugging his coach, hugging the technical staff. The 40-year-old will get a chance at the knockouts, you would imagine, because Bosnia have beaten Qatar in Seattle in the sun